Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Pucks podcast, episode 99. We are here, first episode post trade deadline. Obviously, we put that one out a day later on Monday this week. There's a lot of editing to do with all the lack of occurrences, really, if we're going to talk about occurrences.
It always goes out on Monday.
It
always goes out on Monday.
Am I tripping?
We just recorded a date. We just recorded 2 days earlier than we normally do. We normally record on
that's
Sunday
actually
and
true.
post it on Monday.
Okay, so you're on time. I actually put it out on time. All right. Anyway, my name is Antonio Cathos.
This kid, he gets it wrong every time, bro.
I'm here with Ben Rutledge, and we are back. We're going to start off today talking about that electric Sabres Lightning 8-7 game that happened. Oh, I actually don't even know the day that it happened on. It was
Sunday, March 8th.
Thank you. Wait, the 8th? Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Sabres win at 8-7. What are your thoughts on the game? Is this the best? First of all, is this the best game of the year?
Oh, yeah. Not even close. It's the game of the year to this point. I mean, they came out fighting like right away. Tage Thompson gets drilled from behind by Hagel.
I didn't realize how much of a rivalry they got going. Like, they hate each other.
I don't think they did, bro. Like, they did in this game, but, like, it didn't.
Dude, apparently it was like
that. I guess, you know what? That leads right into the biggest point I had to make. So, are the Lightning just assholes now? Like, they had the whole feud with the Sabres where they were fighting with the Sabres in the first round last year.
Yeah.
They were, they also in the preseason had a massive fight with the Panthers again. They then had a massive fight with the Panthers in the regular season as well that led to multiple suspensions. They then had the goalie fight and like line brawl against the Bruins in the outdoor game. They then had this like 6-fight, 15-goal game against
kind of
the Sabres.
You know how they say like there's the big bad Bruins? Like they are kind of the big bad Lightning. But
I mean, they definitely adopted that.
Also, like, I think that they do just hate the Sabres. Like, they do just hate the Sabres. Like, I think they hate each other.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, every time but that's what their fight looks like every time. Like, when I was at the outdoor game, subtle flex, for the Lightning Bruins game, bro, like, they fought the Bruins like that, too, where they genuinely looked like they wanted to kill the other guy.
Apparently, Dahlin's an asshole, too, though. I've seen a lot of people, like, going after him. So I feel like he's got to be saying something. Like, he's a good player, but they don't just attack.
Evgeny Malkin's slashing him in the face, bro. Like, I don't know what you say, but that's not deserving. Like, there's not much you could say that would deserve being slashed in the face.
He must have said something that was kind of crazy.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy that you immediately attacked Dahlin rather than defended him. I think that's a little crazy. To immediately jump to that conclusion over being like, man, you got to feel for Dahlin, or like he's doing a good job getting under their skin, like a more positive route. You're just like, oh, Dahlin's a bitch.
Well, like, no, but like I also saw that. Like I saw like people in the commentary team was talking about like how he's been in a lot of like altercations over the season.
But he's the captain. Like, he's a leader. He's like, I don't know. He's a good, like every interview I've seen him in, he's like he's respectful. He's a good dude. I don't know. I think he's just a good trash talker, bro. Most of the time, that's what that means. Like, you get on, you're just a good trash talker. And so you can get people mad at you.
Yeah. I guess that's true. I mean, like getting to the next point though. Do you think that I feel like the fighting in the game made it more electric? Like, that's the reason why it was so electric.
For sure.
That's why we saw so many goals. That's why they were so into it. I feel like we need more of it. It used to be like that back in the day. Like, there used to be like a fight a game.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get back to that, but I think fighting is definitely, everything's a pendulum, bro, in life. Like, it starts typically over here. They correct it. Most of the time they overcorrect it over this way, but then they realize they've gone too far and they bring it back relatively close to the middle. Yeah. And fighting from 2018 to 2022 was dead. Dead. No one fought. The idea of a fighter was dumb. You're like, why would you waste a roster spot with a plug when you can have someone who does something effective? You know?
Yeah.
And then I feel like with Rempe and guys like Olivier, and kind of guys, even Nick
Like
Delorier to an
Xhaka.
extent, like Jack who can like play enough that they're not a complete waste of space like a guy like Ryan Reeves is, that they can actually, and Curtis McDermott, like they can actually play a role decently well in a limited sense, but they're a big fighter. And with the addition of that, fighting's definitely come back. And I also think like the Panthers and Lightning especially have just developed this like chaotic cage match style game where like the rink's a bubble. And when you enter it with them, they're going to do everything they can every second to beat you down.
Yeah.
And that's changing. I mean, it's just changing play styles a little bit, which I can't say I hate. I mean, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. All that big bad Leafs talk out there, with all their fights. I mean, you did sign Revo, which like you tried.
I mean, McCabe fought Gallagher last night, so nice try. But
okay.
And like, bro, recently that's not been our issue. Our issue's been that our defense want to spend more time fighting and hitting people than actually doing something positive.
Your issue is Brad Treliving.
Well, yeah, that's a big fucking issue. Not as big as Craig, though.
Anyway, getting back to the Sabres and Lightning game, what was that game from the goaltenders, honestly? Okay, first of all, I like the main one I noticed was I didn't even like UPL.
You were overhating.
I was not overhating.
You were overhating.
Did you watch
Dude,
the same game?
The goal that you were.
He let in a goal that Nikita Kucherov fanned on. It was going 10 kilometers an hour. I could have, like, you could have.
I get that, but what I'm saying is,
Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
I get that. You would be surprised. First of all, he may not have seen it. Secondly, the defensemen have the same amount of time to clear the puck out, right? The left defenseman wasn't doing anything. The right defenseman was engaged with Bjorkstrand, did a horrible job of it, which is why he scored. Tie him up, and this isn't even a conversation, first of all. Second of all, the left defenseman did not have anyone in front of him.
It wasn't even the defenseman. It was Tuck that was standing there with Bjorkstrand.
Okay, fair. That all the more reason the defenseman just steps up into the hole in the middle and just takes the puck, and it's a non-starter. Like, I would say almost all these, you can break it down to horrific defensive play that could have bailed out the goalie. Like the, who was it? The point goal where Bjorkstrand goes wide and he comes out of the net. He just kind of throws it to the middle. There's 2 Sabres, 1 Lightning. And the Sabres were in front of the Lightning. The Sabres were in front of Point.
And Byram were both holding
hands. We're in front of Point, and Point scored. Like, UPL made him have to go behind the net and just throw it to the middle of the crease, hoping a prayer. Should he maybe have gotten up a little bit? Sure. Well, but like, again, I blame that more on the defense. Like, there's 2 of you, one of him.
On the ground for like 3 seconds. He was like, oh, we got scored on already, I guess.
Well, no, first of all, Bjorkstrand goes wide, he throws it to the middle, and he's trying to block it, and then he doesn't see where it is. And at that point, I don't know if you ever tried to get up in goalie gear on an ice. Like, when it's going in the middle, the defenseman, like, that's on the defense.
I felt like it was an overreaction. Like, you don't need to, like, dive all the way out. Like, it's not like he was even threatening to shoot, really. Like, just stay.
There was no one there. Point came from up top and came down. Like, there was no one else there. And so he just forced him out to the boards. And then if the Point makes a good read to come in and the defensemen don't do anything, but like what he saw is no one in front. So he's like, if I just force him wide, even if I'm a little over aggressive, I would think also that's his play style. I mean, watching that game, like, yeah, that's kind of his play style. Like, where he's an aggressive goalie, he comes out. Yeah. He makes some flashy saves doing that, but you're also going to have that happen. I don't know. I felt like you were overhating. Like, I just feel like there were also some pretty good goals. And I feel like there were more on Johansson that I was like, what are you doing? Than UPL.
Well, that brings me to my second point. Why are we playing our backup in a divisional game for the division? Like, why is Vasilevsky not playing in that game?
Because they played in Toronto the night before.
Okay, and play Janssen.
I know. First of all, though, you play the starter against the struggling bad team. That's a guaranteed win. You're at least guaranteeing yourself 2 points in a back-to-back,
but I feel like if you're the
which
Lightning,
is the minimum. I get that, but there's a lot of teams who have the philosophy.
5 in a row.
There's a lot of teams who have that. It was 6 at that time, by the way. Get it right. But a lot of the the teams have the philosophy of like, get the points, get the 2 points against the guaranteed team, and then hope that your team plays well and that your backup can have a good game and you can beat the good team. Like no team in any given night is that unbeatable that you can have Johansson and can't beat him. They were up 7-5 with like 4 minutes left. Like,
yeah, and maybe if you have Vasson, you win.
I don't know, man. Like what is Destruce doing? Like how does Zucker get a breakaway that clearly on the 7-6?
That's true. Like they also
and also stay out of the box. Their first 3 goals were all in the power play before this even started. Like stay out of the box. I get you want to play with an edge, but have some amount of control. Like
they had. I think I saw at the end of the first period they had 8 guys on the bench.
Like, bro, stay out of the box. Like I get you're gonna fight and you're gonna do all that, but like you're always getting the extra one, and you're taking the minor penalties in game when Buffalo isn't. Like, yes, obviously they had their power play chances too. In that type of game, you're going to, but Buffalo had like 6 or 7 power plays, and Tampa had like 2 or 3. Like, that's a massive difference.
I don't know, man.
But anyway, another point about the backups is also sometimes like the goalie has a preference. I know I'm cutting you off, but sometimes the goalie gets to pick. And Vasilevsky's the kind of goalie that would command the respect of he gets to pick. And a lot of time they pick the game that's just more comfortable for their body. Like a Saturday 7 p.m. game is one that his body is used to playing all the time. A Sunday at 2 p.m. game in Buffalo on the second night of a back-to-back traveling, like that's his body's not that used to playing the game. So I like just thinking about it, like would you, if you're Vasilevsky and you get the choice, would you not pick the game you're comfortable with against a lesser opponent too?
Okay, sure. But then if you're the Lightning and you're down 4-1, are you not swapping in?
No, not after a back-to-back. No, not in the second night of back-to-back.
Okay, well, at what point are you putting him in, man? Like, buddy letting 8 goals in a regulation NHL game. It's not like
I think he was playing that whole game. I don't think they had a thought of taking him out for Vasilevsky. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was his game no matter what. It's rare. It is really, really rare that you see a goalie in the modern day come in with play both sides of a back-to-back. Almost never. But I would actually say it's less likely they don't start and come in unless the goalie gets hurt. That's about the only way. Or like it's the 82nd game of the year and they need to win.
Yeah. I don't know.
That, dude, it's more likely that he'd just start him than they would bring him in.
Yeah, and I guess maybe like at 4-1, you're like, oh, well, we lost the game. Might as well rest.
Exactly. That's what I mean. What's the point in bringing him in? And then you obviously, then you come back and you're like, well, we're in this game anyway. Might as well keep him in there. I don't know. I see your point. I just feel like.
I feel like the wrong decisions were made. Just like
they should have. Let's be real. They should have won that game with Johansson in the net. They were up 7-5. You have to win that game.
I mean, you can argue Johansson sold though at points. Like the first goal, especially. Like what was that first goal?
Okay, we're talking about sold at points. I'm talking about specifically where they were up 7-5, regardless of what had happened up to that point. You're up 7-5, and you give up 2 goals in like 40 seconds. One of which is a clear-cut breakaway from the blue line on a stretch pass from the offensive corner, like your Tampa's offensive corner. It was thrown all the way up to Zucker, who breaks past Destruce, is in it on a breakaway. Like that cannot happen, regardless of the goalie. That cannot happen. So that's what I feel. I feel like they had the game. They'd won the game, and they threw it away, regardless of Johansson.
I don't know. I just feel like you walk away from the 2 games with 4 points if you start fast in the Sabres game and you start Johansson against the Leafs, because, bro, the Leafs are not beating you. You're top of the division, and they've just lost 6 straight games. Like, they're not going to beat you even with your back. Like, I feel like you got to play the starter against the other team. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're basically throwing.
I don't know. I actually think it was more Vasilevsky's habits and what he's used to, and he didn't want to break his cycle and play an afternoon Sunday game. That's actually like I'm pretty confident. And he was like, I'm playing the game I'm comfortable with, and let's guarantee ourselves 2 points on this road trip back-to-back. Because most teams, regardless of who you are, you could ask Jared Bednar if you had a back-to-back on the road against 2 divisional opponents, regardless of who they were. You're saying, I just hope to get 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You're like, it's hard to win them both, so might as well. So you play Vasi in his regular like cycle, beat the Leafs ass, get your 2 points, and then see what you can do tomorrow.
It is just crazy that you score 7 goals though and don't even get 1 point.
I know, they also it was 8-7 with like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
It was 8-7 with 4 minutes left. That's actually an even better point. Like you had the time to go tie it again.
Yeah, and with the way that shots were just going, I'm surprised. Yeah.
Buffalo locked it down.
Yeah, I mean, also we're I know that the Lightning's D are injured now. Like they're down. Who are they down?
Well, Radish is out right now.
Radish is out, and there's another. There's another that
he'll be back soon.
But they even with injured D pairings, they have Hedman playing on the third pairing, which I found
he's not been very good. He's not been very good.
I know
he's also been really injured this year. Like he's had 2 major injuries this year. So part of it is like, it's just one of those years where his body ain't going to be right the whole year, you know?
Yeah, but he's a C, bro. Like, I feel like...
I get that, but he's like 35. Like, he's really old to the point where like 2 major injuries and surgeries in the same year is going to make it difficult for him to have his best year. I'm not saying he's cooked. He could be. But like I have more confidence in him being good next year than I do at any point this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess with full recovery, kind of like how Marchand looks like really bad after his hip replacement, and then this year he's obviously been cooking.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the intro. Yeah. Let's go to the intro.
Marchand, he'll drag it right in for a chance. Holy mackerel, what a save! Made by Marc-Andre Fleury. Unbelievable by Austin Matthews. A complete turnaround. We're going to Boston, baby!
All right, welcome back to the FHP podcast, episode 99. Let's get into some real sports talk now. But first of all, how's the day-to-day life been, Rutledge, since we've seen you last at the NHL trade deadline? How have things been going?
Came back to school. It's been good. Busy with intramurals. All that stuff's kind of in playoffs as we are beginning to wrap up the school year, which is crazy. I feel like it flew by. No, we don't talk about school much on this, but it's crazy that it's almost over. And theoretically 1 year left for me. God damn.
Theoretically, yeah.
No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean like, well, I mean, like, I'm not going to be done schooling after this, but like, it'll be of this part. Anyway, but yeah, been good.
We all struggle.
Been good. You know, grinding. Antonio and I have been grinding in our dynasty league, making some trades this week. I finally got a little reprieve from work, and I've been grinding fantasy hockey trades.
Yeah, we got the trade deadline coming up on Monday for us, which is exciting. We both, I think we both made 3 trades already. Is that true?
No, I made 4.
I think I've actually made 4.
I made 4.
Yeah.
I traded in Dynasty. Guess we'll talk about it. You know, it's our podcast. Let's talk about it. We both want to talk about it. Let's be real. I traded Ovechkin to a contending team it was just Ovechkin and got Victor Eklund in return. My team's really good. I'm the best. My team's best in the league. I'm 17-2. And when my team is fully healthy, I do not have the roster spots to keep everyone. So like I'd be dropping a player that someone immediately claims. So figured I'd improve the prospect pool. That's was a big focus of mine, but especially Antonio's in most of these deals.
Following my lead, I was going to say, I went out there and I got Levshinov and Buium for who did I even trade him? Gensel?
Jake Gensel. Yeah, I don't even know what the full trade is. You traded Gensel, Jack Nesbitt, and Dmitry Simashev. Antonio traded for Nazem Kadri, Artem Levshinov, Zeev Buium, and this guy who is a good team. Like he's 4th in the league. His first round pick this year.
Mm-hmm. which I felt really good about. I mean, for me, the main issue was the start of the year. I wasn't fully in it. If I'm going to be honest, school was taking the priority. And I started, I think I
No,
started.
it wasn't. It was, come on, don't lie, bro.
Okay. I just wasn't that locked in. Oh, yeah, rugby too. Well, yeah, that's school for me.
And what rugby entails?
I'm in my program's rugby for most of the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, he's in rugby.
But yes, Antonio acquires some good prospects there.
Yeah, let me finish. I was 0-5.
Okay.
And then I finished. I'm 11-7 now. So I'm just saying, or 11-8. So I've gone 11-3 since week 6. So I think I'm the second best team in the league since week 6.
I mean, yeah, you've only lost one more game than I have since week 6, and you just beat me. Now your team is worse. Your team after all these trades is objectively worse than it was before you made these trades. The second trade that I made, I'll just cover these two smaller ones, and then there was one between the two of us. I traded David Jurček for Jacob Trouba. My decor was very just okay, so acquiring Trouba helped. I did give up a pretty good prospect in Jurček. I'm definitely aware of that, but I don't know. I just think defense prospects are so weird if they're not super, super high picks that have been super, super high end. Like, they're always much riskier than a forward prospect. And so I'm just more willing to move a defense prospect that was a teens to 20 pick than even a forward. And I needed Trouba. He makes me a lot better. And then the last one, fleece, in my opinion. I traded Colin Graf for Yuri Kulik 1-for-1. Graf's obviously, he's a good player. He's playing on the first line, but I just don't think his ceiling, especially on that Sharks team with the prospects they have, is much more than a third liner. I just think that's the role he'll settle into. And I acquired Kulik, who is on the Sabres, which is one of the most attractive teams right now. And he's a stud. He was really good last year. He played on the first line last year with Thompson and Tuck. I think he's probably going to slot into their top 6 once healthy. He has this like weird ear injury. But they just essentially said they're being safe and holding him out for the rest of the year to make sure he's healthy for next year.
What?
But
he might have like an ear infection that's like,
I think like internal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's giving him like probably like vertigo and stuff. That's the only thing that I can think of. Like how else are you not playing in the NHL? Like if you just can't hear it of it, it's like a whatever. It's annoying. I had that this year.
A serious blood clot issue discovered in early November 2025.
Mm-hmm.
He was cleared. He was cleared to return in March of 2026, but the team decided to hold him out for the rest of the year.
Dude, that's way worse. Holy, bro, that's like stroke risk.
Clotting
in the
not
ear,
necessarily.
Bro, clotting in your ear.
It Dude, didn't. But this didn't say where it was. This didn't say where it was.
Well, if you had an ear issue and there's a clotting issue, I wonder where
I know, but the ear was just what they listed on the injury report. Like they just said ear.
Anyway, I agree. I think regardless, you won that trade because Graf is not all that, especially when you have like prospects on that team like Chernyshov that are clearly much better. That
no, it's more like it's more like Musty. And Eklund and Smith and Celebrity. Sure, Chernyshov slides in there, but that's still a lot of guys ahead of him. Yes, every single person I just listed. Over who?
Musty.
Okay, yeah, sure. The first round pick who's just been lighting it up since he was drafted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You're insane for that, but okay.
I will take Chernyshov.
Okay.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I think that is that crazy, but anyway.
Bro, look what he's been doing in the NHL and in the KHL. He was disgusting, bro.
He was 15 games in the NHL, and he was under point per game in his last year in the KHL.
Bro, you want me to pull up the stats on Chernyshov? I was literally just looking at
it. Sure. In the KHL, he was under point per game. In the league below the KHL was where he was cooking.
Oh yeah, actually, it was the OHL last year where he fucking really cooked with 19 goals in 23 games.
And then he was cooking in the league below the KHL. That's also the OHL, bro. Nick Robertson had 110 points in the OHL.
Okay, in a bunch of games, bro. He was way over 110 point pace.
I get that, but I'm just saying. I don't know. It's just
anyway,
he's a good prospect.
We should probably just say the trade. rather than Dick.
I traded
Obviously,
JT Miller, Velarde, and Chernyshov for Lukas Dostal and Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah, I get O'Reilly, who's been the best forward in the trade this year. And I get Dostal, who I really needed a goalie, and especially a younger one. And I mean, getting the starter who's locked up long-term in Anaheim on one of the teams that projects to be one of the best teams in the West for a really long time, I'm a massive fan of. Have had that for most of the league with the Rangers and Shesterkin, Demko Canucks, and the Leafs between like Wall, Stolars, Campbell, Samsonov, kind of had all of them. That's what's been cooking for me. Just all those teams are bad now. And so I needed to kind of fix it up, grab Dostal, and then O'Reilly, who's helping. I took the opportunity to get out from under JT Miller. He really helped me win a chip last year, but literally since the start of the year this year, he's been a nightmare. He's been a player I'm like, I want to trade, but I feel like I'm going to lose the trade. And I felt like this was a deal where I acquired Dostal, where even if he goes back to being good, given he's going to be 34 already, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually fine with that because I acquired a player that I'm fine moving that. I'm giving my opinions, and then obviously you can give yours. O'Reilly, not O'Reilly. Sorry, Velarde. You're actually high on. I'm not. I think there's a good chance he gets moved this offseason, if depending on the way the Jets want to go. Just because I don't think they're moving Scheifele or Connor, and he's a pretty valuable asset. Like, you could get a good amount in return for him. And I also think if he's not playing with Scheifele and Connor on that first line, he is a quarter past useless, because he is not good enough to do anything on his own, but he's playing with good line mates, and he's probably a solid second line winger realistically, but he's playing with really good line mates. And so it's working really well and has worked really well, but I don't like the outlook of Winnipeg, and I don't like his role. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the fit there. And I'm nervous that if he gets moved off, that he's going to suck ass. So I wanted to get rid of him. And then Chernyshov's a good prospect, and I'm well aware it's a good prospect. I'm acquiring good players, so I have to move good things. I was just happy to move the two current roster players and understood that I'd be losing a bit on Chernyshov, but I like Dostal that much.
Sure. Okay. I'll say my 2 cents now. I'll say my 2 cents.
This is actually interesting because, you've probably never heard my in-depth thoughts on the players.
Yeah.
Same.
We kind of had surface level, we
made a deal. Yeah. We talked about it and we made a deal, but yeah.
For me, I've literally tried to do exactly what Don Sweeney has in this league. I feel like I'm Don Sweeney of our league, where it's my team was great. I won the chip 3 years ago. And then there was a sudden fall off, kind of a year-ish ago. At which point I was just all right, I'm just going to go, my team's old. I'm going to go and try and get a bunch of buy low players that will hopefully turn out. So I went out and got Timo Meier, whatever. This trade for me, it's okay. Ryan O'Reilly was a waiver pickup for me at the start of the year. So I'm okay, total, he's 36 years old on my team, not very valuable. I'm not going to, not a lot of teams in the league are going to trade anything for him. Velarde, on the other hand, there's a lot of teams in this league that are really value young assets. And a guy like Velarde averaging 3.1, 3.2 at 26 years old. Yes, I have no problem holding him, but for me, he was really a trade piece. And our deadline's not here yet. I probably will move him. I probably will.
It was him, Barzal, and Zegras that were movable for me. So yeah.
Yeah. He becomes a trade piece for me that hopefully gets something better. If not, I'm fine holding him because I like him on that Jets line. If not, if he goes to a contender, even better. I'm not.
I disagree, dude. He's a second or third line player. If he's getting traded,
are you going to let me talk or what?
Sorry. But say he's not being traded and going to a first line.
I know we disagree. That's part of it. That's why I took him from you, and that's why I value.
Okay, but you're genuinely insane if you think. And I want to save our credibility here. If you think he's being traded and going to a first line.
No, I didn't say that. I said a second line.
You did say that.
I didn't say
actually. You said you'd like it better if he got traded, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say he was going to be on the first line. I said I like him on the first line of the Jets. But yeah, I think he's a perfectly qualified second line winger, and I think that's not gonna hurt him putting up 3.1 points. It's not like he's putting up 4 like a Morgan Geekie or a Nietzsche's that I think is gonna fall off. And then for Chernyshov, great asset for the future. And Miller, it's sure, he's averaging 3.2. He's hurt right now, but look, he averaged 5. Okay, sorry. I'm saying 3.2. These are we use Bangos
points league
points. So he's like we have blocks at 0.5, shots at 0.25, hits at 0.25, goals at 3, assists at 2. And he was a guy that was like over point per game last year and the year before that. So I'm perfectly fine taking him on, waiting on him for a year. Like you're obviously contending and more than contending for him this year. Like I'm not.
I also think he's washed, dude. And I think the Rangers aren't going to trade him, and he's stuck on that team. And I think
you could be right.
That team's going to be really bad, and he's going
to
be stuck
right.
on
You
it.
could be wrong though. Like I think, like I got to take a chance on a guy who's just scored almost 100 points before, or has scored 100 points.
He ain't getting back to that, bro.
Well, I don't expect him to, but like he's a guy that I think could very well go back to like point per game. Yeah, like 70, 80 points.
Yeah. So those are the trades we made. Obviously, we're probably going to make some more before the next episode, so we'll talk about it. I mean, you'll see us the night before the deadline day of our league, so we'll probably have some plans heading into that. Anyway, let's move along here and talk about just, there's been some other stuff happening in the sports world. We'll say probably the biggest and most recent one for last, mostly just telling that to Antonio. But so first on Sunday, really, it was technically like Saturday night, but Sunday, really early in the morning, George Russell was the victor of the Australian Grand Prix, the first Formula One race back for the 2026 season. Mercedes was nasty. Him and Antonelli went 1-2. And then Ferrari was kind of right behind them. Leclerc and Hamilton looked good. The Ferrari engine looked good. That's my team. I know Antonio doesn't really pay that much attention to F1, I know who McLaren did not look good, which was crazy after winning the Constructor Championship, being the best car by a mile last year. They were like the 5th best in the first race.
Well, I was about to say, like, I'm a McLaren fan. I like Norris.
He was nasty. I think Piastri won the Drivers' Championship last year, but Norris came second. He kind of choked it, bro, last year to his own teammate. But yeah, so happy to have that back. It's so dumb. I mean, it's not a North American sport, so that's why it's annoying for me. It's catered to Europeans. But it sucks that like the first 2 races are always like in the middle of the night here. And so I either forget or I like fall asleep normally halfway through it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for them to get back to Europe, make them early in the morning. Gives me a reason to get up and start my Sunday early and instead of just lying in bed until like noon.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so good to have F1 back. And just last thing, I feel like I want to point this out as hockey didn't go our way, but baseball America's pastime. The team might not qualify for the quarterfinals in the World Baseball Classic. Mexico and Italy are playing right now. Actually, the game might be done. But Mexico, I think, needed to win by 5 runs. And if they did that, the U.S. was out, and Canada's already clinched in advance.
Oh my God, Italy won 9-1.
I can't remember if Italy needed to win or Mexico needed to win.
Oh no, they're bottom of the 8th, but Italy's up.
Yeah, I saw Vinny Pasquantino hit a 3-run. Jack Royals boy. Okay, wait, my dad said it to me. Mexico has to beat Italy tonight and score less than 5 runs, and U.S. is out. Okay, so U.S. is going to advance.
Damn.
That's unfortunate. But still, it was that close, okay? Like, it's supposed to be the U.S. and Japan and Dominican are like the big 3, and no one else is sniffing it. And they lost to Italy last night, bro.
Dude,
Nolan McLean, the Nets boy, got rocked. Now, part of it is none of the U.S. pitchers are there. Like, none of the good U.S. pitchers are there. So that's part of it. I won't lie. Like, the full U.S. team is not there. Now, the full team for most teams isn't there. Like, the Jays don't have their best player. The Canada doesn't have their best player, Freddie Freeman. Like, everyone's missing players.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. We're into where I start watching now. Essentially, we're into the quarterfinals, so I'll start to tune in. I'm cheering for Canada, but realistically, I'm actually cheering for Dominican. Vladdy's on Dominican, but I like a lot of those players. I like Tatis, Soto, J-Rod, Caminero, O'Neal Cruz. So, yeah.
Where is it played this year? Or is it just played in MLB?
It's in North America. It's in America.
Okay.
They normally pick one. I'll Google it. Okay, you start us on the next point.
Yeah, I guess the biggest sporting news that we've had is last night, right? I'm not crazy, or was it 2 nights ago?
Yes.
Last night, Bam Adebayo broke the modern points record, set by Kobe Bryant, and he had 83 points. He visited the line 46 times. And it's the most points we've seen since Wilt Chamberlain supposedly did 100 back in the age of the Plumbers.
62 or something like that.
That's just insane to me. I don't understand how a center of all
it was the goofiest game, bro. It was actually the goofiest game of all time.
Like, I didn't even watch, but I don't understand how a center puts up 83 points in the modern era. When,
That's what I'm saying. It was the goofiest game, bro. So he got like 35 or something in the first quarter. Like he went off like naturally in the first quarter. And then like basically from that moment on, the Heat just spent the entire time trying to get him as many points as they could. And the Wizards finally caught on in like the fourth quarter when he already had like 60 points, 65 points, and finally started like double teaming him. And then there's a clip where literally they inbound the ball to Bam. There's 4 Wizards on him. It's Bam, 4 Wizards, half court. And this is the Heat side.
Yeah.
And so then he throws it. He kind of runs through. They give it back to him, and he just gets fouled and goes to the free throw line. And like that's basically how he did it, bro. He had 43 free throw attempts, and he made 6 threes.
I was off by 3.
He shot 6 of 18 from 3 and shot 36 of 43 from the line.
That's not even that good from the line. I'm not gonna lie. Like
36 of 43 from a center. That's
okay.
That's
From
really
a center, sure, but like that's 83%. That's not.
Yeah, that's
great
good.
That's
the league average is like
guard,
80.
I feel like
the league average is like 80.
I know, but from like a guard, like if you're thinking like Kobe going to the line, like in a game where you score the most.
Bam's not a guard, dude. But also keep in mind,
I know he's not a guard. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy that he set the record.
But you're shitting on it. You're saying that's not that good, dude. And then you're also arguing that like it is really good. It is really good. He's not Kobe. Like he shot 36 of 43 from the line. That's really good. Which is
why I'm like, how?
You're crapping on him. What do you mean?
I'm not.
You're literally saying yes, you are. You were literally like, that's not that good, dude.
Well, considering
you literally said that's not that good.
Considering he set the record.
He missed 7 of 43 attempts, and you're saying that's not that good.
Yeah. Considering he set the
nasty,
record.
Bro.
For a normal game, sure, that's good. But considering he set the record. Like,
well, you'd expect most of them not like Kobe scored like 20 of his 81 from the line. Bam scored almost 40 of his 80 from the line. Like Bam almost scored half his points from the line, and Kobe scored a quarter. Like that's a massive difference.
Kobe went 18 for 20 from the line that game.
I get that. Double that. He'd miss 4 compared to Bam missing 7 as his center.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just saying it's just it just shows how incredible it is.
You're making no sense right now. You're literally saying
I'm not. I'm
literally being like
sense.
He's a center. It's totally fair that he only missed 7. But then you're like, it's kind of surprising that he missed 7. That's kind of a lot. And I'm like, dude, shooting 83% as a center from the free throw line is really good.
I'm saying as a center, that's good. It's surprising in the first place that a center set the points record. And for him to like not be that efficient from the line and still set the points record, that's impressive.
I think 83% from the line, Antonio, was very efficient.
Compared to like what other people that set records in the past have done? No, it's not.
Dude, look up what Donovan Mitchell did when he scored 70 or any of those other players, bro.
Okay,
I doubt.
Look it up. I just
there's
looked
no.
up.
I bet you most of them were in the 80s of free throw percentage.
I gotta look at Donovan right now. Yeah, actually, Donovan was 20 of 25 from the line.
See?
How about where's Jokic? Like 62 points. He had 61 points.
Devin Booker was 24 of 26 from the line when he had 70.
Yeah, that's insane. Like that's what I would expect if you're setting like a lot, like if you're putting up a ton of points in a game.
I get that, but also keep in mind that like these guys are getting half the amount of attempts as Bam. Like eventually you're gonna miss more the more you shoot in one game.
Why can't I see how many points this guy had?
Luka was 15 to 16 when he had 73.
Why can't I find the stats on this game?
Dame was 14 to 14. But like look how many less these guys had than it.
I know. That's the
My
only
point
way
is
that
more the like
centers-
sustainability to get that many and to
Well, yeah,
still
I mean,
shoot
the only center
83%.
that-
Like I actually bet you if you gave all these guys 43 attempts in one game and the amount of usage that Bam had, like who also shot under 50% from the field as well, which means like he was shooting almost every shot. If you did that for those players, they're shooting the same free throw percentage. And these are the best like Booker, Lillard, like those guys are like the best free throw shooters in the league. And I bet you if they gave him 43 shots, they'd shoot around 85%. And Bam shot 83.
I don't know about
which is
that.
why
I mean,
I'm
like,
saying like that's
like
nasty.
guards
It's
are kind of
exhausting.
automatic.
It's
Yeah,
exhausting.
but guards are
bro.
automatic. Like
Not
these score,
like
they
look,
shoot,
who's
like,
the other guy that you said
they
that
shoot
Donovan
hundreds
Mitchell
in
missed
practice.
5. I get that, but like there's not that many players that average over 90% from the free throw line in the NBA.
Yeah, because they're normally
There's
like the
very few.
elite guards. There's very few people that have scored 80 points in the NBA.
I know. But what you're saying, Antonio, what I'm trying to get across the point is that this is a center who shot above league average with way more attempts than anyone has ever gotten in a game. And he managed to only miss 7 of 43 and he shot 83. Like that is extraordinarily impressive for any player. But the fact that it's a center makes it that much more impressive. And that's why I'm like, you're saying it's not that good that he missed 7. And I'm trying to say it's extraordinary that he only missed 7.
I'm saying it's
for any player,
I'm
but
saying
especially a center.
Good. It's not like I'm surprised that he missed that many considering he set the modern day record.
But look at all these other players who are scoring 70, bro. They're getting half to under half the amount. Like they're getting like 60% less free throws than him.
Which makes it
like of course
that's
he was
the
going to
only way
score
a
that
center's
many.
gonna do it.
That's what I'm saying. Of course he's scoring that many. Like that's the only way he could is if he got that many free throw attempts.
Yeah. But like I don't know. Like we looked at like most of those people were shooting like 90% from the free throw line.
I get that, but they were shooting like 18, 20. He was shooting 43. What I'm saying is with that many, I guarantee you would shoot less, which is why over the course of a season, almost nobody averages over 90 because the more you shoot, you're going to miss more.
Yeah. But okay. Anyway, it was crazy that he did it as a center.
Yes, I agree. But anyway, it was really goofy, bro. They were literally just forcing him the ball, and the Wizards were just trying to guard him. It literally felt like a 2K game, but it's real life. I wasn't watching it, but I watched the highlights after. It was insane.
I wonder if that gets broken by like a guard, though. It's surprising that a guard hasn't put up more points.
Someone's going to do it. Well, someone's going to do what the Heat did. But for
like at a certain point, somebody's
shooter.
got to hit like 25 threes.
Someone's going to just pick a bad defensive team and they're going to just force feed them the ball like they did with Bam essentially, but it's going to be a guard.
Yes, bro. Somebody's got to take like 40.
Like the Lakers could do it with
Luka.
Luka and he could get 100. I bet if they just were like, okay, I don't even care if we win this game. You're just going to try. You're just going to shoot every point, like every shot.
I'm low-key surprised Steph never did it. Like with his off-ball movement. Like I feel like.
Yeah, but that's also so hard. Like you can't look like it's rare that you'll get 38 field goal attempts, 22 from 3. Like look up how many times Curry's don't. We don't have time. But I doubt Curry has shot had that many games where he shot 20 plus 3-point attempts. Like it's just rare that you get that many opportunities, especially because they were blowing teams out like for like 60% of his career. So he wasn't playing the end of games.
Yeah, that's true.
That was Shea's problem, dude. Shea didn't score 50 till like halfway through last year because he'd have like 43 in the third and he wouldn't play a single minute in the fourth.
Yeah. No,
anyway, we are a hockey podcast. And
this is true. Who even watches the NBA anymore anyway?
Agreed. Just more of an interesting sport debate, really, rather than like actually caring about the NBA.
Yeah.
Alrighty, without further ado,
let's get in.
I was going to say the same thing as you, so I'll just keep going.
Okay, then. Let's get right into hockey content here. Our first topic that we're going to be talking about is not the beat a dead horse, but we're going to talk about the deadline one last time before we put it down for good. I guess for you guys, it
boy doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
And said, oh, and boy doesn't need to be.
But I mean, I guess for you guys, it doesn't feel like we've talked about it a lot because it was literally just like 1 hour and a half episode for you guys. But for us,
it was also the deadline preview spent most of the time talking about that.
Yeah, okay.
Spent a lot of time talking about.
But then also the actual deadline for us, we were talking to each other for the whole day, basically.
Yeah.
Plus, we then had another one another day to talk about it. Plus, then we recorded the second half of the episode. Like, we've talked about the deadline a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get into who we have as like the top winners and losers. We're going to call these our superlatives from the deadline. Starting off with our biggest winner, who was a buyer at the deadline. And I think this one's pretty obvious. Like, you've seen a lot of people online talking about it. It's
Pretty sure everyone has this as the winner, not gonna lie.
yeah, we have the Avalanche. Oh wait, actually, let me get here. Yeah, honestly. Oh wait, that's the wrong.
That's not. I was gonna say.
There we go. That's the one. Yeah. But yeah, I think adding Kadri and Nick Roy or Roy.
Nick Waugh, and Nick Blankenberg too. And yeah, they lose Olofsson, but they have a way too many wingers when they're healthy anyway, so that's not really a loss. And I guess technically the Kulak trade.
Yeah, they had a
traded
Kulak ahead of the
Gerard for
deadline.
Kulak.
Yeah.
I think Kulak's better fit for that role. I think Blankenberg's a good 7D, can move the puck well. He's a good kind of Malinsky. Like, Malinsky would be the ideal replacement. Like, if they had to pick one person to go down and he could fill their role, it would be that. But it's fine overall. And yeah, well, I think the Habs just won. Ivan Demidov.
I think
I'm guessing
that
Ivan Demidov
sounded
just
like
scored an OT.
That sounded like a
Yeah, Ugam and Jake are. Oh no, it wasn't an OT, but yeah, Demidov from Newhook and Gooley, and it's 3-2 Habs. Massive game between them and Ottawa tonight.
Man, we need to get a gaming back on the pod. Him and Jake.
We'll get back.
We need to make a surprise appearance.
Yeah, we will.
For
They
episode 100
playoffs.
next week.
Come playoffs, they'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, bro, episode 100, we're gonna have a new intro for you guys. Bro, could be electric. St. Patty's Day edition.
True. We could talk to him. We could talk to him. Anyway, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, they were really the only ones that added a big forward. Like, the other teams who make big moves and were big movers added big D-men. And so they're the only one that went out and got a stud forward. Yeah, I like it. He's a great fit. They're going to be nasty.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. I think they're just a horse. They were already a horse considering like their start to the season, and now they're a horse and a wagon. They're both.
Yes, they are. All right. The next category that we have is the biggest winner from the seller category. And for that, we have the St. Louis Blues. I thought the return they got for Braden Shen was unbelievable. I thought the return they got for Falk was really good. I would say not as good as Shen, but still very good. I think, oh man, if they'd got the Parayko deal too, and they'd acquired 3 first-round picks and
or Thomas,
like an prospect, and yeah, true. But I think they did. Did they trade anyone else, or was it just those? Was it just Falk?
I think there was a smaller one.
Shen. I know they cut
those
Matthew
are the
Joseph.
two big names. Those are the two big names.
I don't think they.
I would have added anything else. There was
I don't
like
think they traded anyone else. But anyway, I think they did really well. They got a lot. They got a really good return for multiple players. And yeah, I think they're well on their way for a rebuild. I think you revisit a Parayko deal in the offseason. I think you certainly revisit a Binnington deal. Now, if there's only 1 year left and you can retain 50% of that, and a team can get Binnington for 1 year at 2.5, you're getting a solid return for that. 3, he's making 6. And then also, I think you revisit a Parayko and Kyrou deal and Thomas deal all in the summer. And so I think the St. Blues team could be really bad next year, but I think they could be sitting there as like up there with like the Sharks. I think they have a chance to immediately jump themselves ahead of the Blackhawks in the rebuild. That might be a hot take, but I think the way they did at this deadline, if they can extrapolate that out to Kyrou, Thomas, Binnington, Parayko in the offseason, I think, or at least 3 of those players, maybe 2, but ideally 3. I think if they're jumping Chicago in the rebuild, and they're like in that good of a spot.
I think if you get rid of Binnington, Parayko, especially, like even if it's just those 2.
And
like,
Kyrou, I think Kyrou you got to get rid of because he's kind of. But even if you like keep Thomas, yeah, I agree. And so yeah, I like what I'm seeing. I mean, Doug Armstrong's a good GM. He's doing well.
All right, our next category was the biggest loser. That was a buyer at the deadline, and we had the Carolina Hurricanes. I was about to say the Carolina Panthers.
I mean, Nick Delorier for a 7th as your only move is simply not good enough. As a team,
I thought for
who's
sure they
leading
were
their
getting
division.
I thought for sure.
They
got
could
room-
have been working on it.
They were rumored that he was going there, and then it just nothing came of it.
I agree with you. I just don't think they did well enough. I don't think they did enough. I think they're going to regret it. I think they have too many holes in this roster, specifically. Like, I don't know how I feel about their goaltending. I mean, really, I feel like Bob was the only one that would definitively improve. Like, acquiring a Skinner is not going to do much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But acquiring a Bob would have definitively done that. I also think, like, you have a plethora of assets from the Rantanen trade. Like, I get you don't want to just throw them away, but, like, do you consider, like, a Nadeau, Nikishin to first, something for Thomas? Like, I know you don't need to necessarily get that aggressive, but I'm just like,
I mean, it makes you better, but I feel like you got to hold Nikishin if you're.
I guess, but like your window is right now. Like you're just not developing a better team. Like, I guess, because like eventually Aho's going to start to get worse. I get you're going to be like Jarvis and Svech can get better, but Slavin and Aho are going to start to get worse, and then
That's
that
true.
team's and Goss is fair, and so I'm just like, they just didn't do enough. I mean, I think that's beating a dead horse for most people. They kind of feel the same way. I don't even think they need to do a Thomas move, but like go out and get O'Reilly, go out and get Lawton, even. Like, they needed another center, and I don't think they did a good enough job.
All right, so we'll get
the
into
biggest
our next one.
Losers that we had was the New York Rangers. They traded Sam Carrick and Brennan Othman in a prospect swap. Carrick for like late round picks. Like, no Trocheck deal. No, didn't even sniff a Zibanejad deal, which I disagree with. I think not trading Miller is a good idea right now for them.
There was talks of moving Schneider,
but just like
too.
Schneider. There were other players like Taylor Radish. His name came up a bit out there. Like, there were just more players that could have been moved.
Yeah, you have guys that are on your team that are like quality players that a contender could use. Like, you're a team that has had a winning culture in recent years. Like, you have those pieces. Like, it's a crime that you haven't moved somebody considering you've been so bad.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think they did enough. And especially considering, like, bro, a retooling team arguably needs to be making the most moves because you're in a position where you're both buying and selling, and they did none of that.
Yeah. I guess they're just hoping. They're like, all right, we're going to hold everything, and we're going to hope the next year we run it back and it's better.
No, they definitely want to retool. I think they're going to trade Trocheck in the offseason, and I think maybe Zibanejad too, I think. Maybe even Fox. That was some crazy stuff circulating a little bit around there that he's kind of maybe not the happiest there, but we shall see. All right, what's the next one?
We got biggest fleece by a buyer, and we had Connor Garland for that. Columbus getting Connor Garland. I think that was a phenomenal move considering the price that was on the market. We've already we already talked about this a little bit in our review. So we can kind of fly through, but a second and a third for Garland when there was like people out there like Nick Dowd and McCarron getting seconds as well is phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby McMahon was second or fourth, and you got a guy who's signed for 6 more years and is a better player than McMahon. So the next category that we have is the biggest fleece from a seller's perspective, and that we have Braden Shen. Much like Antonio said, you can listen to our other episode to your significant breakdown, but acquiring a first, a third, and a prospect, as well as Jonathan Drouin, who has another year that you can probably flip for 2/3, something like that in the summer. So it really extrapolates out to like a first, 3/3, and like a B prospect, like a solid prospect, like not a bum for Shen. And he didn't have to retain, and he's 36, and he's making significant money for multiple more years. Perfect. Nothing else needs to be said.
Agreed. And so our next category might be a little confusing to you guys, but to us it makes pretty perfect sense. Like, it's our biggest mover. So it's like, obviously Colorado was already kind of in the big 5 at the top of the league, and they just stayed there. But we have our biggest movers up and down. For people that kind of sold or bought at the deadline that weren't exactly in a great place or considered a horse really at the time, that we thought really upgraded their value or really downgraded their value and became like a true kind of lottery contender, we'll say. So our first one was the biggest mover up being the Utah Mammoth. And that was basically based on the Uyghur deal was just huge.
I think that was the only deal they made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. You know, they didn't have to give up any. Castagna is a pretty good prospect, but they really didn't have to give up any of their elite prospect core, and they didn't have to give up a first. I get 3 seconds to a first is definitely a decent debate, but even if that were a first in Castagna, I think that's a good trade for Utah. And so just to do it by doing more smaller assets, and I mean that's what being a rebuilding team forever does, is you have a plethora of all those assets. So to kind of just package a bunch of B assets and go get a stud top pairing caliber player, like that's a no-brainer improvement for me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think the Ducks deserve a shout out as well.
Okay, yeah, that was another team.
They basically did kind of the same thing. I mean, they dumped Strome, which was underrated. To dump Strome and not have to retain, not have to give anything to get rid of him is good, because that contract was going to be a problem if they wanted to be big spenders in the offseason. And then, yeah, first and third for Carlson, who immediately slots onto their first pair first with Lacombe and first power play. That's nasty. That's nasty stuff. But I just think Uyghur two-way and was needed more.
Yeah, I agree.
The last. Oh, no, not the last. Yeah, the last. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, it's good. I was just going to say I think that Uyghur fits in Utah better than Carlson fits with the Ducks, but.
Yes, I agree. And the last category is the biggest mover going down. And for that, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. They trade away 3 players, more bottom 6 pieces. And so it wasn't even necessarily the trades signifying they're getting worse, although it did make their roster worse. Just there's no positive juju, no positive anything around this team, really, man. Like they're not in a good place, and they've not won since the break. The Seattle Seahawks have won more recently than them. So it's just pretty clear that they're not doing well. They're not in a good place, and they're going to lose a lot of games for the rest of the season. Washington. Sorry,
it's crazy that they.
Yeah, you go.
It was crazy that they were like kind of questioning whether they were going to contend or not, going like a week or two before the deadline. And then,
coming out of the Olympic break, they're like, but I mean, it was kind of valid. If we come out and we say we lose Tampa, but beat Florida, beat Detroit,
you're sitting there
you're sitting right there in the wild card spot, and you're like, okay. Yeah. It obviously didn't go that way because our coach sucks, and then our GM did a poor job at the deadline. So let us cook now. But also Washington was another team here. They did trade for someone. Oh, Liljegren. Which I actually didn't mind as even a long-term, younger bottom pairing guy.
Dude, what is it with them and picking up?
But I mean, bro, they got a defenseman. They got a first. They traded away John Carlson and Nick Dowd, and they got a first, and they acquired Liljegren. Sorry. So basically, they traded John Carlson and Nick Dowd for a first, second, 2/3, and Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah, that's a great.
Or one third. A first, second, third, and Liljegren for John Carlson and Nick Dowd. That's an unreal trade.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Obviously it wasn't combined. That was 3 trades, but I thought they did well, but it made them much worse. So that was another team that was kind of the honorable mention for the doing worse category.
Yeah, I guess
losing John Carlson's big. Yeah. That was their number one defenseman, their guy.
Yeah.
And Nick Dowd is underratedly. He's a big for the PK, bro. They lost their best penalty killing forward and their best power play defenseman.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Liljegren's I'd say he's better than serviceable. He's a good defenseman.
Yeah. But he's not going to slot into Carlson's role. He's
also, Carlson's 36. So, with the way the team is moving,
it made sense, bro. And they won every trade. I think they won every one of them. Maybe the John Carlson one that could have been fair, but you could have called that fair. But I still think they won for their purpose.
Well, I think it's weird that 2 Leafs, actually 3 technically, if you're going to include TBR, end up on the on.
He was never on the Leafs.
Oh, I'm thinking of JVR. Ignore that. But Sandin and Liljegren, both from the Leafs development core, both end up as 2 of the key pieces on that Capitals defense.
I would not call by any means Liljegren a key piece on that Caps defense, and Sandin's been playing on their bottom pair for most of the year. So let's calm down. And we got Cowan for their parents are gonna be all weird now because Carlson's gone, but we also got Cowan for Sandin.
I mean, but Liljegren just came in, so of course, I'm gonna look at it
okay, but bro, the Sharks traded Liljegren. The Sharks traded Liljegren, and they need
they're
defense.
First pairing Sandin and Roy.
I get that. It had not been for the year. Like when Carlson was up there, it was Favari and Carlson, Chychrun and TVR, and that was their third pairing when Carlson was on the team.
Huh. Okay, regardless, I was just saying it was interesting that two people.
That's totally fair, and you can say they're good pieces, but to call them like cornerstones of the defense core is
I didn't say cornerstones. I said core pieces.
That's the same thing.
Which is to say you cared, like you don't want to lose them for nothing. Like I'd say Carlos.
The Sharks, who desperately need defensemen, traded Liljegren away. And the Leafs traded him away when we desperately needed young defensemen too. Like he just ain't it. Sandin, I'll give you. Bro, Liljegren ain't it.
Like they're all right. They're like second pairing defensemen.
Liljegren's not a second pairing defenseman, bro. Liljegren is like a sixth, fifth defenseman. And Sandin's a solid 4, maybe 5. But like you said, core pieces, and I'm like Chychrun, Nick Waugh, and Favari. Chychrun, Nick Waugh, and Favari are all ahead of him on that team.
I don't know why you're being so nitpicky
because
I almost just said something I can't say. But I don't know why you're being so nitpicky about it. Because like I'm just saying, like
because you're like, oh man, it's interesting how two Leafs, the old defensemen are now core pieces of a great defense core. Like
I didn't say great. Bro. When did I say great defense core?
I know you didn't say great defense core, but you said they're core pieces of a defense core, and I'm like, dude, they're not. Like I'm just setting the record straight, and you're just unnecessarily hating on the Leafs right now,
dude. Chychrun's the best defenseman. Favari's probably their second. Then you go to Sandin,
and then Waugh. It's Waugh or Roy. He's actually Roy, Matt Roy, bro. He's nasty. And then Sandin, and then probably Liljegren, but they also don't have an injury.
No. Sony Milano. There's no reason to hate. There's no reason to make it a 20-minute discussion. I was just pointing out how
I get that, but I just think I just get that. I get that. But like if I had been like, oh man, Matt Grzelcyk, and I can't even think of it because there's not any.
Well, yeah, Grzelcyk and Weatherspoon for Pittsburgh. I'd be like, that's interesting that they're two of the good guys for the Penguins now.
Yes, but you didn't. They're not good. But you were like, bro, when you say core pieces,
I would still say core pieces. Like no. I would say it the same way. Like I'm not saying that they're like guys that you're trying to hold on to forever, but I'd still like say they're part of the.
They're on the roster, dude. And I would say that
playing on the first pairing, Clifton's been an important guy for them. Like that's just literally the exact same situation. And I wouldn't. All right,
you know what? I'm gonna make this a poll, and I'm just gonna go around and ask people if you would consider a borderline second pairing and a third pairing defenseman a core piece of a team.
I said of your D core. I didn't say of the whole team.
Dude, I don't know how many core pieces you're considering, but given that Liljegren's their fifth and Sandin's their fourth best defenseman, it's hard to consider your fourth and fifth a core piece of your D core because you can replace those almost immediately.
I'd say Sandin's better than Roy. But like this, again, it's not a discussion we need to be having. This is such a crazy
I really looked into Roy because the Leafs were reportedly very interested in him when he was a free agent from LA 2 years ago. He's nasty. He's really good defensively. And he's good first pass. And he's like 27.
Okay. I don't know why you're getting so nitpicky over it. It's not that big.
Oh, yeah, because don't say that. Like, I don't know why you're getting so nitpicky, bro. You're basically being like, oh, the Leafs are dog shit. And they gave away 2 great young defensemen who are now studs on this Capitals team. That's what you're implying. And I'm like, no.
That's not what I said. That's completely out of.
That's how you were implying it. And don't even, bro. You were implying that to be, you said you literally mentioned the fact they were from the Leafs only to be like,
I literally said it was just interesting. I wasn't shitting on them.
And also comparing Grzelcyk and Wotherspoon's crazy because that wasn't 2 former first-round picks for the Bruins who, like, did not work
I didn't even know those guys were former first-round picks, like, if I'm honest.
Dude, Liljegren was 2017, Sandin was 2018. That was our 2 first-round picks.
I'm not a Leafs fan. I don't keep track of every single first-round pick from every year, bro.
I get that, but you should probably know that. You should have known that, dude. I'm not going to lie. I talked about them forever when we were first starting to be friends and first really get into hockey. I talked about them for.
Yeah, I remember them being good prospects for you guys. I didn't remember that. They could be a first, second round.
All right, bro. Anyway, we're yapping.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. All right, let's get on to our NHL team tiers after that. Classic bickering from Rutledge and Capo. We haven't had that in a while. Good Lord, dude. And over 2 to guys who are just going to be in free agency in 2 years, just sitting there with nobody wanting to sign.
No puck knowledge, bro. Sandin signed like a massive 6-year deal like 2 years ago.
All right. Dude.
This
You
is
can be bought
valid,
out, okay? You can be bought out, okay?
This is valid because you're like flexing how your puck knowledge is back, and borderline were trying to flex on me last night that you have arguably more puck knowledge than me.
When did I
That
say
was
that? Oh
That
my
was
God.
subtly hinted at.
When did I say
That was subtly hinted at
Oh my
in the when we were
God.
talking about trades, bro, in Fantrax. That was subtly hinted at that
My
you know
God.
more.
What? Bro, what are you reading into? I'm not a woman. I'm not hiding signs, bro. I'm fucking face value. Why are you
No,
reading
dude,
into me, bro?
dude, you were like, oh yeah, like it's this guy. Come on, like he's not useless. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, like
Which guy? Like, are we talking Velarde?
no, it was like Brinley. I can't remember all.
Oh, yeah,
but
it was
like when we
Brinley.
were talking about trades, you were basically like, I can't believe you'd value this guy like that. That's unbelievable. He's clearly like this. And I can't believe you'd value this guy like that. He's clearly like this. Obviously, we're going to have differing opinions, but it was said with some sass, bro. It was said with some certain sass. Also, Sandin's a UFA in 2029-30.
Okay. Okay. So,
I just want to
should've
look
said
it up
4
just
years.
so we
I
knew.
should have said 4 years. Okay. I should have said 4 years. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Let's get on to these team tiers. The first tier doesn't change much after the deadline. I think it's literally the same 5 teams, just the order might have changed a little bit. The Avs might have gone up a little bit.
Avs were one already for me, bro. I'm not going to lie. The only move is I would say Carolina dropped. And actually, weirdly, I would say Tampa Bay went up, mostly because I would have expected Minnesota to do something. And
Corey
they
Perry's a
didn't.
sneaky good piece.
Oh, it's not even
Besides
that. I just
crafty-
more think
bet.
Minnesota had more holes and they didn't fill them. And I think there was more potential for them to like, if they'd acquired Trocheck, I would have thought they were better, but they didn't. So they were behind Tampa. And then Carolina did nothing. And so they dropped behind everyone. IMO.
Yeah.
I
Fair
think
enough.
that's kind of what we agreed on.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this is a tier that gets interesting, I think, and specifically the ordering of this tier.
Yeah, the playoff.
This is
block.
in order for those who don't like. For those of you on YouTube who are watching, this is in order from left to right, and we'll say it for those of you who are listening. But yeah, so we have Buffalo at 6. I think that's pretty clear. They're leading the Atlantic right now. They're an absolute wagon. They've won 6 in a row. And then we have Anaheim, who's leading the Pacific, followed by basically the Pacific Division. So Anaheim, then Vegas, then Edmonton. I just think those guys are kind of good. They're just good to make the playoffs because that division is so bad that and like they're not going to be caught. I do think all of them are good teams, but have holes, and also aren't. I don't think any. Well, Anaheim is, but Edmonton and Vegas are not playing very well right now, and so that's what makes this weirder.
Yeah.
You know, but like, and then the next we have Montreal, Utah, Detroit. I think Detroit's really the only team that I'm like, maybe we could move down. Every other team I'm very confident will make the playoffs in this. Mostly because of that Larkin injury. I don't know what's going on with Larkin. And if he's out like really, really long term, it's something with his knee. And they said it wasn't his ACL, but like that was the first report. And like when the first report is it wasn't his ACL, it's generally not that good, even though it wasn't his ACL.
Yeah, he might be out a couple of weeks. We'll see.
He's been out like a week already. Yeah, you got anything to add?
No, I think we got some questions on the Mammoth move there, but I think like you said, like
yeah, we got a comment on Instagram. Shout out. That's a little moment to plug the Instagram, you know. On Instagram, follow at Fantasy Hockey Pucks. You know, we post all this stuff there. If you want to see, if you're listening and you want to, you know, take a look, follow along, check it out. If you're listening and you want to, you know, just get the content daily, check it out. You know, you're watching, check it out. But yeah. Yeah, I just think, bro, there's 6 points up on the second wild card and 6 points up on being out of the playoffs. LA and Seattle are tied there with 67. And they won't be able to catch Minnesota, who's third in the so like they're going to be a wild card team. Yeah, that's a really good team who plays in a really weak conference, who's going to win a lot of games. And I also look at Utah and I compare them to Seattle and LA, and I'm like, they're way better. You know, like, is that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, they're just way better than them.
I don't know about way better. I'd say like I think they are better. I don't know about way better. I like the weaker trade definitely helped them a lot.
I do.
I don't
I
know, I
think their
feel
team
like
is really good. I really
LAC
like their forward core, and I think
Well,
with Uyghur, it completes their defense core much better.
yeah, that's true. Their decor is now kind of nasty. I mean, if they made that trade earlier in the year, maybe we're having a completely different discussion here, and they're actually.
I don't think
fighting
they'd be
for
Minnesota
playoff.
territory unless they added another forward. I think they need probably one more forward. But anyway. I could see it. I don't know. I just say I'm that confident to say they're way better. Like when I
Yeah,
look at a team and I
they're
see
locked. I
like
don't think
a first like Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther, and like Peterka, Cooley, Kraus, and then I compare that to like what Panarin, Kopitar, Kempe. Like I don't know. I just and especially Seattle. Like I just like Utah.
Yeah, Seattle. I'd say they're way better than that. It's more LA that's
LA is decent. But yeah, so that kind of concludes at the playoff locks tier, and then in the hunt tier, this is where it gets real interesting. It gets real muddy, really, between a lot.
Well, I
of these
mean, like,
teams.
yeah, if you look at the numbers, like we have 3 West teams in here, and only 1 can make it, and there's 5 East teams, and only 3 can make it. I think that's the math.
Yeah, you're cooking. We got to get some more positivity back on the pod, you know. After we got a little negative and pissy with each other, though, we got to get some more. We got to get some more positivity going.
Dude, if I was one of our friends, I'd be like, I need an upper decky right now. The real ones,
too stressed out, man.
Real ones, no. I'm fiending.
But I agree. I think if you also look at this, we have the Islanders behind the Blue Jackets. And now technically, but the Islanders still ahead of the Senators. I think if the standings ended based on our rankings, Detroit and Boston would be the 2 wild card, and Pittsburgh, Columbus would be the 2-3, and the Islanders and Sens would be first 2 out. It's kind of, so it's basically based on that. Like it was basically us predicting the end of the standings and then just putting it in a tier list.
Yeah, I think like we were like, okay, they're all around the same, and then like how to differentiate
how do we
between
feel
the tier.
about them? Yeah, the tier is kind of how we feel about the team, and then the ranking within the tier is how we feel they're going to do essentially this year.
Yeah,
I feel like it's probably the no, not necessarily actually. I guess the team this year and rest of season, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I would not include as we get later in this. There's some teams I would not say are this bad moving forward. But anyway, and so then also from the Western Conference perspective, if it ended this way, we would have Utah and San Jose as the 2 playoff teams, with LA, Seattle being the first 2 teams out. As a Leaf fan, that's not what I'm cheering for. I'm certainly cheering for LA to make the playoffs, as the lot in 3rd becomes a 2nd if the Kings make the playoffs. And given that the Kings are tied for the playoffs, last playoff spot right now, I'm a massive Kings fan at the moment. So I would love this, but I think this is, I would prefer the playoffs if they ended this way, removing my interest for the Leafs.
Yeah, it's okay, dude. You can have those biased feelings. I was begrudgingly cheering for the Panthers all of last playoffs because I wanted a first, and for it to not be such a bad move at the deadline.
That's kind of how I feel with the Lawton trade. I'm like, man, if it's a 2nd, it's really not as bad. Like,
exactly.
It certainly is bad, but it's not as bad when that's a 2nd.
I wanted to kill Don at about this time last year, and now I'm like, Don, you kind of cooked.
I'm not going to feel that way when we look back. I can tell you I'm not going to feel that way.
Yeah. Well,
and so then the 4th tier we have is the no man's land tier. And really, I would say Nashville's borderline considered in the hunt. But I also just could see a world where they end up in the tier 5 tank for McKenna when it's all said and done. And so that's why I feel like we limited them down a tier, but they're the top of the tier and really the only team in this tier who can make the playoffs. Maybe Winnipeg, but man, 5 points back with 4 teams in front of you. That's 3 teams in front of you. That's really difficult.
Yeah, it feels
really, really difficult.
I mean, you'd have to go on a run, to say the least. Maybe the Blackhawks a few years back. Yeah.
And then we have the 3, the Jets are there at the very end of this tier. And then we have the 3 kind of Eastern Conference Metro teams that are just mid as hell. Washington, Philadelphia, and New Jersey. All of them are, New Jersey's actually playing a little better. And so is Philadelphia low key. Washington is not,
the issue is
unsurprisingly.
they're just too far gone now,
Yeah, they're just gonna make the playoffs. And so they're literally in no man's land, and they're all kind of playing too well to really finish in the bottom. So they're just kind of stuck in no man's land. And then the final tier, the tank for McKenna tier. We have Florida because, I mean, they're objectively resting players, and I doubt we see Marchand or Seth Jones for the rest of the year. And I'm expecting Tkachuk to be shut down here at some point, probably closer to April, but he's going to be shut down.
Maybe even Bob, depending on whether they plan on re-signing him or not, they're probably going to rest him.
I could definitely see Bob as well. Whether you re-sign him or don't re-sign him, I think you probably rest him either way. Why? And also because it's kind of a tryout for Tarasov, and you don't want to be good, but it's kind of a tryout for Tarasov. Like, he's 26. He apparently, like, Bob's been a mentor to him before. Like, they acquired him specifically because he had a good connection with Bob, and they liked him, and they thought like they could kind of develop him into their next Bob. So I think that's partially why you're going to see him play a lot. Is they have a month to see what they have in him, and I think that's certainly worth it.
Yeah,
for them. Maybe a sneaky good fantasy pickup, just saying. And then the next team we have is Toronto, a team who just continues to play worse and worse. And then we have Calgary, followed by the Rangers, the Blues, the Blackhawks, and the Canucks. All these teams are kind of in the same boat. St. Louis and the Rangers are actually both playing better. I'm not going to lie, probably would have had them over Calgary, but pretty interchangeable. They're actually both playing better. The Rangers could actually end up in the no man's land tier when it's all said and done, the way they're playing. But I think right now, and the way they've been playing in the season as a whole, these teams all suck. And if you look, there's 8 teams for 7 teams for 5 spots. So 2 of these teams are going to try and get in that top 5, and obviously won't be successful. Let's pray it's Toronto.
Yeah, I wonder for the other teams, if it matters exactly how much, because I feel like there's not the tier drop offs after 3.
Well, I mean, if we were going to expand the tiers, bro, I really think Calgary's second last in the league, eh? Like, Calgary's buns. I would actually put Calgary and Vancouver in their own tier at the bottom.
Well, I think just tank for McKenna was just kind of they're all.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I'm wondering, if we were to get a little more nitpicky, I would drop them a tier below the teams above them. Like, all those teams are kind of, for different reasons, a little better than those two.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially Calgary's ass. Yeah, I feel like we swapped Calgary.
Well, Vancouver's 11 points behind Calgary for last place in the league.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Vancouver sucks.
Although starting next year, I'm taking Vancouver's roster over Calgary win now. If we're saying you need to contend, I'm taking New Vancouver.
I massively disagree, bro. You need to look at their roster. Look at their forward core, bro.
Dude, I know who the Canucks have. I know who the Calgary has. Look at the Calgary's 4 lines, bro. We talked about this last episode.
I know. But, DeBrusk is playing like a third liner. Besser's playing like a third liner. EP40 is playing horribly when he's in a Canucks uniform.
I know, but you're going to have to trust that those guys will play better next year.
You said that for 3 years about Pettersson at this point. To be honest.
Pettersson did play better a couple of years ago.
Not you, like everyone. I know, and I'm saying that was 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro, they don't have anybody on Calgary that could be doing that. There's not a single person on Calgary that I'd be like, yep, they have potential to put up 30 goals.
Yeah, fair. I don't know, but mostly because they're both going to have the same rosters basically next year, and Vancouver is so much worse than them right now that I'm just
it's just
see
weird.
How
it's weird to me. I don't understand how you're that ass.
Well, the Flames are getting quite good goaltending. Wolf's not been that good, but from Cooley especially, they're getting better goaltending.
Yeah, I guess
Mantipala or Tolopilo, bro, and Lankin and Anet for Vancouver.
Yeah, definitely not Lankin. Good Lord.
All righty.
Let's keep moving. Our next segment that we have now is back into some recent NHL news that we haven't been covering as much, especially most recently in the last couple hours, actually.
Earlier today, Nick Schmaltz extends 8 years, $8 million per year with the Utah Mammoth. They extend their 1C right now, but he really is their 2C. Like Cooley's their 1C, he's their 2C. They extend him another big free agent off the market. I mean, it was kind of him and Tuck were the big 2 forward free agents left at this point, and now it's just Tuck, who seems like it'll come down to the wire whether he extends or not. But I like this deal. I think it's a lot of years. I think he's 30 already, and you're giving him 8 years, and he's a guy that's a career high 63 point scorer, and you're paying him top 6 money for 8 years at 30. Like, it's a lot, but at the same time, they have a lot of cap space. Less so next year, actually, because they're paying Cooley 10 mil next year, and they're now paying Schmaltz 8 mil next year. So they definitely, and they picked up Uyghur making 6 mil next year. So they definitely have less money next year.
Yeah. I don't think it's that outrageous though.
I don't think it is either. I'm just saying 8 years is a while. That's it. I don't even. He's fair.
It's probably like where Cap's at, probably sitting at like 120 by then.
That's probably what
by year 7 or 8.
The Cap's going to be like 130 in 2 years. It doesn't even start till next year. This is like
this is like going to go $40 million in 2 years.
Well, it's like 97 right now. I'm pretty sure.
Like 96.
And it's gonna go up like to like 112, and then it's supposed to go up to like 130, 125.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Bro, what are you cooking, bro?
It's 95.5 right now, 104. These numbers change all the time, for the record. Like, Friedman's reported these about 6 or 7 times. So, yeah, so what I'm Googling is 104 next year. So that's up 9 mil. And then to 113 the year after that. And then the year after that, projecting 123. So it seems like roughly 9 to 10 mil per year. It's increasing. But the thing that, like Friedman said, is probably next year's pretty close to locked in. Like 104 is probably pretty close to guaranteed for what it's going to be next year. Yeah. But what Friedman said is that like the NHL is really open to moving those numbers. And they've also been like increasingly making more money each year, which is why he's like, it could, like, there's no clear stepping stone. Like, it's not going to increase the same amount year over year. Like, it's probably going to make bigger jumps.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I'd say 104 feels, I mean, we're not that far out from next year already. Like, so I expect 104 is probably about accurate, but then the rest of the numbers get wishy-washy. I mean, I'd love to see the cap go up that high, bro. 1, it makes players sign more, but 2, like, everything's just more available when cap is high, like when there's money available.
Well, also the dynamic range for players is also expanding.
Yeah, it makes contracts easier to negotiate low key, bro, because you can be like, you now no longer have a $2 million range for a player. You have a like $4 million, $5 million range for a player, like of comp, like player comp. So
that said, I feel like the top range for the top guys is also going to go up, which means
McCarr's going to extend this summer, I'd expect, and he's going to get a lot. Like that.
Whatever.
Hughes can extend as well, and I think Hughes could get even more, and Bedard could extend. And Celebrini can extend.
All right, let's keep firing through these.
We could see some massive players sign extensions this summer. Because Celebrini, Bedard all can sign. I think Bedard has to sign, actually.
Yeah.
He does. And Celebrini's eligible. And Hughes is eligible. And McCarr is eligible. Wow.
Yeah.
Some big boy money. Yes, you're right. Let's keep her rolling. So Roope Hintz is out. So this is kind of mostly just injury update actually now, here for these next 3. Roope Hintz is out until April after an awkward fall with McKinnon. McKinnon kind of fell on his lower ankle. Looked like hard to tell whether he tweaked his knee or is a high ankle issue or something. Either way, not good. And the Stars are obviously going to be cautious and will prefer him to be healthier for the playoffs, given like they're obviously in a tight race, but 1, they're a good team, and 2, they prefer a healthy Hintz as a 3 seed than a non-healthy Hintz as a 2 seed. So tough for fantasy managers. Really hard to know if he'll be back. I think he will, but could be like last 4 or 5 games, not till then. So that's tough. Marchand, we also mentioned, is week to week, and I also mentioned this I likely think he's done for season. I really don't see a world where he comes back. Tough. Those two guys are on Antonio's Fantrax Dynasty team. That's tough to see. And then two guys that are on my Fantrax Dynasty team on a more positive note. Both Crosby and John Carlson are nearing a return. They're both traveling with their teams on their road trip. Carlson's expected to debut on the road trip. Crosby, they're hopeful, can play in one of the last few games. So it looks like kind of a week for both of them, and they should be back. That's big for both. That's massive for Pittsburgh. Like, helpful for Anaheim because obviously they get their big trade deadline acquisition. He gets to come in, but like, it's just delaying their new acquisition. For Pittsburgh, like, they get their number one center, who's like a big reason they're in the playoffs right now, back. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs.
Well, I'm interested to see what they end up doing with those lines because like Chinnikov and
I wonder if they give
cooking.
Chinnikov a chance, man. Imagine Chinnikov stays with Crosby and they go like Chinnikov, Crosby.
Well, I'm wondering if they think that line's cooking right now. If they low-key make that the second line.
Or let's look at
and then put Crosby with like two other guys.
Oy vey, mate.
Kind of like what the Bruins are doing. Like, that second line's cooking for Boston, and they just put past it with two guys that aren't doing as well. You know?
Yeah, I'm looking. So right now they have they changed it. They actually changed it already.
Interesting.
Because Malkin's suspended, right?
Yeah.
Because they had Chinnikov, Novak, and Malkin was their first line, but Malkin's suspended for 5 games. So it's Chinnikov, Raquel, Rust, because they're having Raquel play center right now without Sid and Malkin. And then they have Mantha, Novak. Mantha, Novak, Ville Koivunen.
I feel like that's Koivunen's a rookie, right?
Yeah, he's like 22, 23. And then Elmer Soderblom, who they got from Detroit, Kindle and Avery Hayes. And then Connor Dewar, Blake Lizotte, and Noel Chari. So normal fourth line. But yeah, man, that team needs Sid back. And this is actually without Brazeau as well. Bro, they have so many injuries.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they're staying at like where they are at 2 in that division despite the injuries.
Yeah, man. Good on them, honestly.
Shout out recent acquisitions for them. Shout out Dubas. Bro.
Yeah, I really like that Soderblom trade they made at the deadline too. Getting him.
Yeah, no, he was
Detroit.
Good for them.
I like
him,
with
him. I was watching him against Boston. He was looking good, actually.
I know. I like him. I really like that pickup. And I mean, yeah, you put Sid and Malkin back on that lineup. They're not playing. They're even if they play Malkin on the wing like they had been, like that first line's probably Chinnikov, Crosby, Rust. Right? I like that a lot. And then you come back with Raquel, Novak, Malkin.
Yeah.
And then you have Soderblom, Kindle, Brazeau.
Yeah,
like that's a good top 9. Like that's honestly a playoff worthy top 9 with the way Sid and Malkin are and some of those young guys are playing.
Yeah. And like Kindle, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't love the defense core. And there's not a lot coming back that's going to help it. It's just not that good. But, they weren't even thinking they were going to be good. So,
yeah, they're like Parker Weatherspoon.
I'm so interested to see what they do in the offseason.
I feel like they got to chase like some sort of young defenseman. You know?
I think they look to buy and sell too. I think they look to just continue the retool, honestly. They're probably going to keep Crosby, Raquel, Rust, Malkin. Like they're probably going to keep that core 4.
Yeah.
But like Mantha's a UFA, I could see them just let Mantha walk.
I mean, we'll see what year there, right? Like they'll get a lot more cap space, but I feel like
I know. I mean,
like
Rasmus Anderson's technically
Carlson, Letang aren't bad offensive pieces on your D line, but you need to surround them with more shutdown guys. And Grizzly, like Grizzly, I think you get rid of.
I'd love to see them make a trade for like a Parayko.
Yeah, although except then they're all on the right side, aren't they?
He's a lefty, isn't he? Pretty sure he's a lefty.
No, Parayko's on the right. I'm pretty sure
he is on the right. You're right.
He's the Bruins were looking to add him, and they only wanted right defenseman.
Yeah, but like,
I see you could play right. You could play like Letang offside, and
you could play Letang on the left. He's definitely played on the left because I'm pretty sure him and Burns were. I'm pretty sure Burns is a righty too, and I'm pretty sure they played on a pairing together.
I'm pretty sure. Okay. We don't need to get into it, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, you're right, actually. I think Burns is right, D.
Yeah. I'm not an idiot, bro.
Well, I swear that Burns was a lefty, and we both went 1 for 2, so it's fine.
He's definitely played on the left before because I know that was San Jose's top pairing when they had them both and they were good.
Yeah. All right, let's keep her firing. We're now going to get into a section where we're kind of looking at, considering we're kind of getting to the last end of the season here, we're looking at some betting odds and who the individual trophy award favorites are going down the stretch.
Yeah, so we're kind of trying, just before I get into this, we're kind of trying a new strategy here. You know, we've never really touched too much on the betting on the podcast, but you know, obviously it's pretty popular and hard to ignore at this point. So we're gonna kind of get into it more in the preseason as well. Like we're definitely gonna do some like futures and like early season predictions, but also just some parameters for this. So we have the favorite, like who the favorite is based on the odds and based on FanDuel, consider the official sports book of the NHL. And then our pick isn't necessarily who we think is going to win, but who we would bet on, like what we think the best value is of a realistic winner. And Tony and I got into
so there are some undeniable ones where we're like, don't even throw your money away.
Like Schaefer, that's like like there's not even a point in betting anyone other than Schaefer. He's so clearly going to win the award. Yeah,
but we'll get into it and we'll talk about them as we go. So our first one is the Hart Trophy, who the favorite currently is McKinnon. Go figure. He's a negative 220 favorite. And we got our pick, our FHP bet for that one is Connor McDavid, who's sitting at plus 800. And just the way that he's been playing recently, like down the stretch, you could easily see him put up another. I think he's got like 20-ish games left. You could easily see him put up like 36 points and then lead that Hart race. And plus 800 is just insane odds for a guy that is just capable of turning it on, especially.
I also think they can still come back and win the division.
Yeah, and especially for a team that's
like you win the division and you have known goaltending issues and you still make it work and you lead the league in points, which is also very possible. Like that's the MVP.
Yeah.
You know?
So I feel like that leads us right into Art Ross. We'll come back to Rocket, but currently the favorite for the Art Ross is McDavid at plus 110. Kucherov's right behind him, and I think they both are kind of like all right, but we took on.
Yeah, and Kucherov, McKinnon, and McDavid all had very similar odds, and then there was a massive drop off to anyone else because that's how this.
Yeah, it was like a drop off then Dry and Celebrini, but not even worth it at that point.
But so our pick is McDavid. Obviously, he's the favorite, but again, we just felt like with the odds being so similar, like McKinnon's unlikely to win at this point, being as far behind as he is, and kind of being in a relatively comfortable situation, while Kucherov and McDavid fight for division. I think that they're both going to be pushed more, and again, McDavid needs to score like 5 goals a game. That's really the big reason I like him for both these awards. Is they have to score a lot to win, and he scores a lot. Like he's disgusting. He's going to score a lot. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think Antonio has the same sense, not trying to speak for you, but
yeah, I agree 100%. We kind of talked about this earlier, but I don't have too much to add there. We'll move on to the Rocket, which is also McKinnon at negative 425.
And for the record, I think he is going to win it. This was when Antonio and I kind of got into a debate.
I like we put right now as our bet is Cole Caulfield. Like, so right now it's 43 goals is McKinnon, and there's Caulfield and Kaprizov sitting at 36 apiece.
37.
Yeah, you're right. So kind of they got to make up that 6-goal deficit. We put Caulfield because obviously Montreal's in a place where they really need to be fighting, and hopefully that means a lot of goals for him.
And really, I just think when it comes down to it, Caulfield's a better goal scorer, and I trust the better goal scorer to consistently score down the stretch than Kaprizov, who's more of a playmaker. And if I had to pick someone to catch McKinnon, I'd rather the one whose entire purpose is to score goals rather than one who is designed to run the offense.
we're gonna disagree. Like Caulfield at plus 1,300 compared to Kaprizov at plus 2,500.
For the record, I don't think either one of these guys are winning it, which is what, like, I would not bet on the Rocket, really, if I were to give you my honest advice, because McKinnon is such the heavy favorite that it's not worth the bet on McKinnon, and he's deservingly so a heavy favorite. So I realistically don't think anyone else is going to win.
Well, like, hear me out. For Kaprizov, it's like you have Caulfield and Kaprizov who are the same amount of goals. Sure, Kaprizov's not like a primary goal scorer, but I think he's the better of the two players, and he very well can score goals. Sure. And at plus 2,500 for a team where, like, it's gonna matter who finishes 1, 2, 3 in that division, and he still has to fight. I don't know, man. Like, I could see him.
I get it, but it's just like the whole entire Habs power play is designed around Caulfield scoring goals. The whole first line around Slav and Suzuki is designed to set up Caulfield to score goals. Kaprizov is the guy who's doing more of the setting up. And as well, he's playing with Zuccarello and Hartman right now. That's his line mates. Like, you're not going to get set up by those guys. You're going to have to set those guys up. And yes, he does a ton of work on the power play, but so does Boldy. And so does Eriksson. Like, those guys also both score in the power play. So I just feel like the Wild offense is much more centered around Kaprizov having the puck and certainly scoring with it, but doing a lot else. And whereas the Habs is around Caulfield putting the puck in the back of the net. So if anyone were to score at an outrageous pace to catch McKinnon, Caulfield would do it.
Yeah, but I agree that Caulfield's probably more likely, but I'm taking double the odds.
I get that, but the odds are ridiculous for both. And I'm that much more confident that Caulfield would win. Like, if you bet Caulfield and he wins, it's a ridiculously good payout either way at plus 1,300.
Yeah,
I'm that much more confident that Caulfield's going to win than I am Kaprizov, that I'd take the 1,200 difference. Like in odds.
I don't know. I would take a shot on Kaprizov. You could put $5 on him, and if he gets it, it's like, I was looking at it. I was seriously looking at it tonight. Believe me. I'll
throw 5 on Caulfield.
That handshake agreement.
All right, I'll throw 5 on Caulfield, and we'll see.
By the way, we haven't said this yet, but all these odds are as of tonight on FanDuel, because FanDuel's
as of Wednesday, March 11th on FanDuel. This is what we're going off of. So obviously these are subject to change.
Yep. We'll keep going. Norris Trophy right now. This is the one where I think you could legitimately make the most money, like, very easily.
I agree.
Although for some reason the media has like this thing against. Anyway, we'll get into it. Makar's the favorite. He's a negative 120 favorite. But right now, the media has it as like Makar's at like 50 points. Werenski's at like 29, and then Hughes is at like 13, and Bouchard's at 11. And I'm just kind of like, how is Bouchard not second with the most points for a defenseman? Like, I get that he gets a lot of help, but you're telling me Makar doesn't get a lot of help from McKinnon? Like,
I know. I really think
that's just stupid.
The defensive woes, and I also think the amount of points he gets on the power play is definitely viewed as a negative.
Yeah, that's true.
And they probably have more stats based on, like, I bet you. Okay,
if that's the case, I'm taking Werenski. Like,
no, first of all, sure. I think Werenski should win it. I think we both actually agree on this. I think we both think Werenski should win it.
Yeah. So right now, if you want to bet Werenski, he's the safer bet. He's plus 105, but Bouchard's plus 1,100. Which is,
yeah, like that's as much as we both think Werenski's going to win. I just think there's certainly a chance Bouchard. Like, if you were to tell me Bouchard gets red hot for the rest of the year, he finishes with 95 points and he wins the award, or finishes with 100 points and he wins the award, I would not be surprised. And so I think to get this good of an odds, like if Werenski was plus 500, I'm betting it, or even probably 400. But just like plus 100 is not very good. Like, that's basically 1-to-1.
Well, especially for like, I feel like the media does try and push like a Makar narrative, and they are part of the people who vote. So that is kind of important to consider. And they push it.
And they don't like Bouchard. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see though. Moving on to the Vezina Trophy, we have Vasilevsky as the favorite, which, first of all, I don't understand how. I don't get it at all. I mean, I guess like he has probably more wins than Sorokin is what they're looking at, but I don't think wins should really be the determiner for a goalie. Like
it's not the 80s anymore, bro. Like, we understand that wins is not a goalie stat.
Yeah, it's like expected like goals, or like Yeah, sorry.
Save percentage and goals saved above expected are the big two.
That's what I was looking for.
And I actually don't know about save percentage, but Sorokin's way higher goals saved above expected.
Yeah. So Sorokin is our bet. He's a plus 105 dog. If you want to go more aggressive, Ben's not in on this one, but if you want to back me, Swayman's also there in the advanced stats. He's like right behind Sorokin, and he's a plus 3,000 dog.
I think there's a reason those players are that high. Like those bets almost never pay out.
I might actually parlay.
I doubt you can.
You can. You can parlay Sway with
Kaprizov, because you're betting on the Vezina on the Hart or Vezina on the Rocket, right? No, it wasn't. It was the Rock. No, wasn't it? It was Hart.
Oh, yeah. You can only bet on
Norris.
Vezina Norris in a parlay.
I mean, you could parlay Kaprizov with Werenski because Kaprizov would make those
or
odds
even
good.
Bouchard would be insane. Dude,
well,
that's
that would be crazy. That would be crazy, but I really don't think, bro, you're asking a lot for both those things to happen. You're asking much less for Werenski.
I could bet both of them. I could bet Kaprizov and Bouchard and Kaprizov and Werenski and put like 5 on each.
Yeah.
It would both of them would be to win thousands of dollars. Anyway, we'll keep her going.
No, it wouldn't.
I think it would. I'm pretty certain.
Though the first one, the Bouchard Kaprizov one for sure would. Werenski's, I don't think would, because Werenski's is like plus.
Oh, actually, you're
right.
Like
that would really drop it.
I mean, I could look right now if you want to do the Selke.
No, that's okay.
Selke without me. Okay. So next one we got is the Selke. This one isn't actually on FanDuel. It's the only one of the awards that isn't put on FanDuel for some reason. I mean, unless you want to talk about the Bill Masterton, but that's just ridiculous to bet on. Like, you might have a problem if you're betting on the Bill Masterton.
Yeah, for sure. You certainly do if you're betting on the Bill Masterton.
But the current favorite is Nick Suzuki with plus 2,200 for the Selke, and there definitely are places you can bet on it, just not on the main platforms. And our pick for that was Jack Eichel, which was mostly Ben. I'll be honest, that was mostly Ben. Jack Eichel's at plus 1,100, but
he's plus 1,100. And listen, a lot of these awards are heavily dictated by what the media thinks and what the narrative out there in the media is. And if you I remember when Matthews scored 69 and he wasn't even on the Hart ballot, which was crazy as it is to say, low key valid, because I think the other 3 had like 140 plus points. But you've got to start pushing this player for an award, and that really matters. I remember Leaf fans really started to push Matthews for Hart when he started to really get up there in the goal totals. And I've seen a ton of Eichel for Selke and a ton of discussion around Eichel's defensive work and his improvement and how fast of a skater he is, that he can really negate the fact that he plays defense, but he gets up there on offense so well because he's so fast. And that's a massive thing. And his odds are really good. I don't know if he's going to win it. It's so hard to tell for the Selke. I don't know puck well enough to be able to watch and be like, ooh, that's a really
that's also why I feel like
Selke
the main platforms don't offer odds on it, because it's not really clear who's going to win it.
But that's why I'm like, bro, for 11-1 odds on a player who I've heard his name be mentioned by reputable sources for the Selke, them thinking he should win the Selke, that just seems like a really good bet to me.
Yeah, I'd agree. And then we already talked about the Calder with Schaefer, and Schaefer's really the only option. He's negative 8,000. I think the field is plus 1,100 or something like that.
Who's second? I actually wonder that. I don't even know who I'd
he's not. They don't even have. They don't have individual numbers.
Oh, it's just
It's just
the field.
The field is such an insanely high number. Do you know how much aura that is, bro?
I was gonna say so you do it, but low key, it's no.
It's not worth it. See, Schaefer has it on lock. He's had it on lock since before.
He's just gonna win, yeah.
All right, and the last one we have Jack Adams. Lindy Ruff's currently the favorite. I think we both think he's gonna win it, but we have John Cooper as a plus 240.
I think Cooper could definitely win it. Because once again, like Eichel, I've heard a lot of talk about the fact that Cooper's one of, if not the best coach the last 10 years. Not the last.
And never won.
Yeah. And he's never won one. And he's made the cup. He's won 2 cups. And he's made 4 in his time as the coach.
The Lightning finish strong and Buffalo doesn't finish first in the division like the Lightning do.
I really think Cooper could get it. Genuinely, yeah. I would not say with confidence that Lindy Ruff is the guy who I would say is going to get it.
And again, so that's all posted on our Instagram. If you missed any of that, you can go back and look at the individual odds. Obviously, these are subject to change if you miss out. So act quicker as possible. Although, because every night that they can change depending on who's scoring and who's not. All right. Now we're going to go to a segment that we haven't gone to in a while. It is the panic room, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a graphic for it right now, but I will get on that. I'm going to get right on that. That's the next graphic I'm making. I promise. For those on YouTube, just you wait. Yeah, so we're gonna keep it short here. We're both gonna have two guys that we're gonna ask questions on, and then we'll move on to what's on your mind, and that'll be the episode. But Benjamin, who is your first panic room player?
So my first panic room player is William Eklund of the San Jose Sharks. So the 23-year-old stud. His role or anything isn't in question. Like, he's clearly a top six guy. He just, in 80 games in 2023-24, he had 16 goals, 45 points. Not a bad rookie campaign. The next year he plays 77 games. He has 17 goals and 58 points. So a solid improvement last season. This season in 58 games, he has 11 goals and 38 points. He's not on pace to have the same amount of points he had last year. He's not on pace, to hit the same amount of goals. Like, he has 11 goals. That is not very good. He is a playmaker first, but there's certainly some regression here from Eklund in a year where Celebrini's having a nasty year. Now, I think he's on the second line. But and so he doesn't get the benefits of playing with.
Yeah, they got Graff and Smith with Celebrini right now.
Yeah.
Eklund's playing with Lisa.
Actually, I knew that. And then he's on that second line. And so long term, I'm not that concerned about him. I think he's a really good player. I think Misa's going to turn out to be a good 2C. And so I think long term for Dynasty, this is almost an opportunity to buy low. I just think for this year, I'm really concerned with the role. I'm really concerned with his line mates. I'm really concerned with what he's producing. Like, I would almost consider him a drop come playoff time. Not yet, because playoffs are you maybe are starting playoffs, but playoffs are probably a week, maybe two away. And so, but come playoffs when it's ruthless, I would not be afraid to drop him despite the name. So I guess I'm saying, like, my panic's at like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, I'm certainly concerned, and I don't really see a pathway for him to be better rest of season for this year, but not concerned for Dynasty for those who.
Yeah, I agree with you on Dynasty. I think he's just fine. Like, players are going to have.
I think he's just that first line's been so good, and that's made their team so much better that, like, it's really glaring that he's not producing. But, like, Misa's not a 2C, and Toffoli's not a second liner either.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Misa will get better. So for Dynasty, it's not.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm
right now. I do agree. Like, they're kind of relying on him to carry the line, and he's not exactly doing that. So I guess you got to wait a little bit. But if he doesn't kind of go,
like, he's 22, 23, like, he's pretty young.
Yeah, but if he doesn't start picking it up and Toffoli doesn't start heating up, then yeah, I think he probably is a drop. I'd say I'm probably at like a 9.
That's why. Yeah, same. Okay, basically same as me. Like, I wouldn't drop him yet, especially if you're still in the regular season. But if you're in the playoffs right now, I would not be afraid to drop him, to just use that roster spot as a stream, or even add a guy like a Zucker or a Mantha or an Arvidsson who's on fire. Also, is my audio lagging, or is just my visual behind?
Your audio's fine. Your visual is just being a little weird.
Okay, that's fine. That's preferred. So at least it comes through sounding fine.
Yeah.
All right. Who is your first player?
My first guy is Nikolai Ehlers. I'm not like crazy worried about this guy. I did just trade him in fantasy for Elias Lindholm in part of like a Minton trade. But yeah, man, like I don't love his fit on Carolina. He also just like tweaked his knee. Thank God it wasn't an ACL. But we were talking about it, and as we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, he's kind of like an injury away from just being no longer usable. Like, this is not so much for like yearly. I'd say this is more like a Dynasty panic room type level player, where it's like I feel like now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of expect what he's doing to that just to continue the rest of the season. Like, I think he'll finish with around 60 points, right?
Yeah, I think yearly he's fine. I'm just saying, I think Dynasty wise, I'm at around like an 8 or like a 9, where I'm like,
well, I mean, yeah, he's almost 30.
Okay, but like people can play until they're like people can be relevant until they're 35, 36. Like, look at whatever.
For sure. But like, yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying he is concerned, but I'm saying like he's 30. It's not that surprising. Is more my point that I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't know. I think you see people are like 31, 32 invaluable. I think he could fall off very quickly. Like, I think it's not going to be a type of guy.
He's a speed first guy. Like once
Yeah.
the speed goes and you speed is the primary reason why you're so good and effective. Like it's hard to stay effective after that.
I think selling the earlier is better for him, and the quicker you can get it done, the better. So especially dynasty, like I'd look to move him this year, if not early next year in the offseason.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for most of these players, I feel like we should preface like there's not that much that's going to change at this point to make us be like, man, they're really going to fix their situation the rest of the season, or man, they're really going to fall off. Like at this point, the players kind of are what they are. So a lot of these panic room players, I think, as I'm looking at my next guy, kind of falls into similar categories as Ehlers, more for a different reason, but just like a player who's going to finish the season but you're concerned for moving forward. And that's Shea Theodore. He, after having like being pretty much a consistent 46 to 52, he was up to 57 last year, but even like he's been injured. Actually, as I'm looking at this, he's been injured a lot. He's like a 60 plus point pace defenseman when he plays. He misses games, but when he plays, he's a 60 plus point defenseman pace. Like that's what he produces for you. And this year he has 7 goals, 30 points in 53 games. He's missed a few. He's missed around like 10 games for Vegas, and he has 30 points. Like that's just significantly lower than what he's been doing. Like he had, for example, in 2022-23, he had 55 games. He had 41 points. And in 53, the same amount, he has 30. And now obviously he's older, but what really concerns me more is the fact that like Hannafin Anderson's their first pairing, and then McNabb, Theodore, and PP1 includes no defenseman, and PP2 is Theodore and Anderson. So he's not getting the PP1 time, which used to make him so good. He's starting to regress, and that's going to also hurt his ability to produce 5-on-5.
Yeah.
So I just think this year's not necessarily a fluke. I would not expect really a bounce back from him moving forward. And I guess for Dynasty, I'm kind of out on him, and I'm not a big fan of him rest of the season either. I don't think it's ridiculous if you want to drop him and stream come playoffs as well.
I also don't love him after that Anderson move. It really just
he's not signed. Like for next year, like if we're looking at an extra thing, Anderson's not signed for next year. Yeah, that's why I'm like. Well, Anderson, and the fact that he's not on PP1, like,
yeah. But I agree. I don't see him necessarily having a great bounce back either. So, I'd say it's like a drop for now, and then if it's Dynasty, it's like honestly could probably still drop and then monitor next year.
I'd probably hold him for Dynasty just because like it's still one down year. Like you can't give up after one down year. You just kind of have to hug it. Like, bro, if Theodore's in waiver wire right now,
we'll talk about it with the next guy that I'm in a similar place with.
Okay.
Well, I might as well name him now that you had that reaction. It's Aaron Ekblad. This is a guy that has been over point per game before. Twice, actually. 3 times, actually. But the last 3 years, he's been under. So I think looking at his stats right now.
But also, Theodore's an offense first guy. That's why I was like, okay, Ekblad's role is a 2-way role, and Theodore's role is offense first. So, like, I don't really view them as a comp, to be honest. Like, if you dropped Ekblad, dude, Ekblad's available in almost all my yearly leagues.
Sorry, I'm not looking at you like that. I'm looking at the stats like that because I swear.
Okay, but I'm saying Ekblad's available in every single one of my yearly leagues, and Theodore's not available in a single one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let me state off the stats. So he has 25 points in 62 games this year, 33 in the 56 the year before, 18 and 51 the year before. Mind you, those first 2 there were he had a knee injury, and that's the reason why he kind of like slumped.
He broke his leg. Yeah.
But he did have 57 points in 61 games the year before that.
57, 42, 41, 52, 42, 46. Those were his points, and his highest total games played was 71. And he was producing 40 to 50 every year. And he only played 70 games max. Most year he was in the 50s or 60s. Like, dude, he produced. I'm telling you, when he's out, look it up. Like, actually Google it and look at it in front of you. I was actually shocked. Like, his point per game in his time in Vegas, bro, is probably actually insanely good because he does not play very much.
Yeah, I know. We talked about Theodore already, but
I know. Sorry, I'm more just going back to the youth. Him and Ekblad was a comp.
Well, I knew you were going to have an issue with it because it's been 3 down years in a row. But
yes, your point of their situation
probably dropping
is
him
somewhat
in
similar
both.
is very valid. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
dropping him in both.
Like I'm past 10 now. Like I was just holding on to him for a while because I couldn't find it. The issue is there's not a lot of good of waiver defenseman. So I was kind of like, do I hold on to him because he's been that guy before? But I think it's kind of time to call it on him. Time of death. 2025, 26. Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, he's done. He's finally officially cooked, according to Antonio Capos.
Oh, this is gonna come back to bite me, bro. It's gonna be like another Alexander Ovechkin.
I wasn't actually trying to set that up like that for the record.
All right. You know what's happening next, sir. It is. Where is it? Oh my god.
Theodore's on a 0.67 point pace as a member of the Golden Knights. That's insane. 0.67 points per game.
Who?
That's Theodore's points per game as a Golden Knight in his career.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's what I mean, bro. Like, it's because he misses so many games. His point totals are actually very impressive.
Dude, are you allergic?
Too.
Moving on from a topic.
Well, okay, but yeah, I wasn't done. Like, the topic wasn't over. I literally said, let me calculate his point per game on Vegas. I literally said that.
I didn't hear that.
Before.
I didn't hear it. I did not hear it.
I did not either.
I did not. All right. We're okay. So wait, what's your final number on Theodore? I don't think we did it. I said 10 for Ekblad. I think what, like 6 for Theodore?
7 for me, probably. No, we didn't say it. No one said
I
both.
said it and you said it.
You said 6 and I said
6, 7. All right. Let's keep her moving. What is on? And I'm realizing we're getting to almost the 2-hour mark here.
yet again. We spend a lot of time yapping.
Norm, honestly. Like the hour 30 to 2 hour mark is just kind of where we need to get to actually talk about things meaningful.
And you can certainly we would not be offended if you skip through some of the yaps, some of the basketball yap for sure, some of the Sandine, Liljegren, Washington yap for sure. You could definitely skip through that. But at the same time, that's us. We want to bring you the authentic us, the general experience, and also it's our podcast. We want to have fun and we want to debate some stuff. So feels like a very good time to let you know you can always leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave a review, leave a 5-star, leave a comment. We like to see it. If you want a question asked, leave in the comment. But more importantly, follow us on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Pucks, right? And you can DM us. We'll answer you any DMs, like start, sit, trade, waiver ad, anything. Like you want help in your draft, we'll help you. As well, feel free to send us questions that you want answered on the pod. We'll answer them in this segment. Just kind of little plug there. But I guess it starts with me. First one, that thing that's on my mind is, did the Sabres just straight up fleece Utah for JJ Peterka? It's literally considered the JJ Peterka trade, but should it be considered the Josh Doan trade? Peterka goes there and signs. Doan has been better than Peterka, and Kessling's been hurt for most of the year, but when he's played, he's been very good as well. And he's a right shot, and he's 25.
I do think I think it was a great move by them because honestly, they knew that he wasn't going to replicate what he was doing, and so they weren't willing to pay him what he wanted. And so moving him, I feel like it was just the right move.
And yeah, you bring in Josh Doan this year, who's making nothing, by the way, 9.25, and you extend him 6.95 for the next 7 years, starting next year is the extension.
Ooh, that's a great contract. It's a great contract.
I know, and he's cooking. He's only 24. He's having a great year, and then you bring in Kesselring as well, who's making 1.4 this year, but he's an RFA. You do have to pay him, and they definitely will pay him. You'd think.
Yeah, he's gonna make 4 or 5.
They might actually have to make some cuts, man. It might be time to split up all the D money they're paying. Like they're paying 11 for Dahlin, 8 for Power, 6 for Byram, 4 for Samuelson, and you're probably gonna have to pay 4 to 5 for Kesselring as well.
I mean, they might just let him go.
Power could be available, man. No, he's an RFA, and he's a right shot. I would trade Power before I'd trade Kesselring.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they have too many left. I'm pretty sure they have people on the left lane, right?
Yeah, they have. Well, they have Dahlin, Byram, Samuelson on the left, and then they have Kesselring, and that's it. And on the right.
Yeah.
Well, like Power's playing on the right, and then they have
But he's a lefty, yeah.
Logan Stanley, and they have
He's also
Samuelson's playing on the right as well. Yeah, so they have a lot of left and not a lot of right. I would certainly move Power, but anyway, I feel like Kesseling's a really good second pair right shot shutdown defenseman, and you get Doan, who's kind of become a great second line, like almost Tom Wilson-esque player. Like that's how he kind of plays, and he's only 24, and you got him locked up for cheaper than Peterka. And I don't think it's ridiculous to think that Doan could have a better career than Peterka. I think Peterka probably will have more points when it's all said and done, because I think the way Doan plays will get him hurt for a bit. And I also don't think he's as skilled, so like he won't be able to necessarily be consistently scoring as much. But I think Doan's the better player, and Kesseling is a great addition. And they literally did it for Kesseling initially, and Doan is just broken out.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great move.
And yeah, Peterka makes 7.7 until 2030. So
yeah,
for,
I think
the
you
next
could
5
ask
years,
for like eight or something to stay in Buffalo.
Yeah,
so,
I really like that.
I agree. I think it's a great move. So to answer your question, yes, I do think they fleeced Utah.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so I'll move on to my first topic here, which is there have been talks about this for especially my favorite team, the Boston Bruins. But when are we going to start seeing NCAA players or college players signing with their respective NHL teams, getting ready for that playoff push? Specifically for the Bruins, Higgins will play this playoffs. I'm quite certain he will play this playoffs. We could see him as early as like next week, probably. Because BU plays in the playoffs right now. If they get knocked out, then he's probably going to sign.
What round is it in? What round is it in? Also,
I think they just started.
Also, but I'm pretty sure they have I think they have to do well enough in their playoff. I don't know college hockey too well. I am learning it more as it's becoming more and more relevant to the NHL, but I think they have their league playoffs, which is I think what they're in right now. Like they'll be in the Big Ten playoffs right now or not Big Ten. I actually don't know what conference BU is in. But whatever conference he's in, they'll be playing for the championship. But then I think they go to like
nationals,
the tournament. They have their equivalent of the March Madness for basketball. Like they have a version of that because it concludes with the Frozen Four. I know they do.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't know. I'm just going to Google it. You know what? We have Google. I'm just going to Google it. But you start to talk about when you think we're going to see him.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I think Higgins could be back as early as like next week is what I've been hearing. Because Boston is on Higgins' watch. And that's definitely a guy that you could add on your third line if you're the Bruins to add a little skill in there, which I would love to see. You could even play him on the wing. He's played on the left. Okay. So you could replace a guy like a Jeannot or actually they'll play Jeannot on the fourth line, but like an Asimont, I could see him replacing on the left wing. But this is more for you guys. We'll talk about this as I'll come back to you after this, but to like keep an eye out for but probably most of the top level college players, like especially in dynasty leagues, are taken. In yearly leagues, those top guys could definitely be added for your playoff push.
So yeah, they're sneaky. They're sneaky. Like I remember Caulfield's been he came in and he was quite impactful. Like you can make a big impact. And they come in right in the middle of playoffs too. Like they're elite ads in the middle of the fantasy playoffs. It's great. Yeah.
And then I'd say even for dynasty, like there's going to be some sleepers that just start performing in the NHL right away that you don't know about.
Oh yeah, because there's going to be the college prospects are older typically and more well seasoned by playing in college, so the teams are way less afraid to call up a 22-year-old college prospect than like a 20-year-old CHL prospect.
Yeah.
So for sure, like you find some like diamonds in the roughs that like teams obviously think are good, but like you as the fan and just a general viewer, non-pro would not know as much about. Including us. Like we're not trying to belittle you. You know, we view you as our equal, our audience out there. But to answer the question, so it starts with selection and seeding. They select 16 teams. The top 1 to 16 teams are placed in the tournament. BU will definitely be there. And then they host, I guess, theoretically, if they don't make it, that's how they'd make. They may be a fringe team somewhat. If they don't make it, that's how he'd be available next week. But if they do make it, he's at earliest not available till April because the regional rounds are March 26th to 29th, and that's the first round.
The
first and second round they play in those 4 days.
He's not university.
Still BC is just as nasty. They play those 4 days. They play the first 2 rounds, get it down to 4 teams, and then April 9th is the semis. April 11th is the finals. So if they make the finals, you won't get them till the very end of the regular season. But that is unlikely because I'm pretty sure like Nodak and MSU and Penn State, like there's a lot of teams that are above them.
Well, they also the Bruins are in a place where I think they could try and recall him early.
He's not leaving, dude. He ain't leaving the playoffs. Not a single college prospect ever leaves in the playoffs.
I don't know what I was seeing then because I was seeing that he could be back next week.
I think if they miss if they're not selected in the top 16, it's done. The season's just about over. Like this is the final tournament. The March Madness for basketball is the final tournament too. Like the seasons are over when that tournament concludes. So that would be my guess. Is that's how you could get him that early. But I don't.
Anyway, we got to start watching.
I know. Beginning of March felt early. Like I remember most of them come in around the end of March, beginning of April. That's when you see most of them come in.
Yeah.
Some of those really ass teams where like the player sometimes wants out of their college team will come earlier, but that's rare. But yes, everything else Antonio said about keeping on him, all that other stuff. All right. This one was one for me. Could the hockey equivalent of the Bam situation ever happen? You just force feed the puck and try to one person and try and give him as many chances to score as possible. So do you think that ever happens? One, and do you think it would be successful too?
Well, which record are we trying to break? Like 6 goals in a game? Or are we trying to break
like most goals,
10 points in a game?
No, most goals is probably the big. Probably the bet. Goals is easier. You're way more likely right now to score 6 goals in a game than you are to get 10 points.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know. Like the closest we've seen to that is Meyer getting 5, I think, in recent history.
Yeah, Zibanejad got 5 somewhat recently as well.
And that was a big deal for both those guys. Like after they got 4, like they started.
It was like everyone was like, "Watch." Yeah.
Yeah. Like Meyer was like, I remember Meyer getting force fed in the 3rd period when he got 4.
I know. I just wonder whether you
kind of need, honestly, what it would need is you'd need like a hat trick in the 1st period for your team to instantly give you like special privileges in the 2nd and 3rd and play you. Like, first of all, you'd have to be a guy that gets heavy minutes already. And then you'd have to be a guy that like, they're like, okay, we're comfortable letting you play for a while. Honestly, you'd probably
I don't even think that. I'm not gonna lie. If you had a hat trick in the 1st period and you scored a 4th pretty early in the 2nd, they would let you go for it. I think almost any team.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because also, if you scored 4 goals and you're just trying to score 2 more, like, yes, you theoretically could give up 7, but like, I mean, odds are if you have a 1st period hat trick, you're winning pretty handily already.
Yeah, this is true.
So I guess
something like a barn burner, like in that 8-7 game, like you could see that. Well, especially more for the points one. If you're like a barn burner, like you need a barn burner for it to be a points one.
That's the only way you'd be able to get up to 10. Like the other team.
You cut out there. You got to unmute.
This thing is so sensitive. Like one time and it like disconnects.
Dude, you were like, you sound like
Owen.
But yeah, I think it is long story short, like I think it is possible. Like all those one game, like it's possible. You'd need to be playing like a backup goalie, and then you need to play a team that like their starter was hurt. And so you're like playing a backup, and the guy that they switch in for their backup is also not good.
Yeah. I mean, also, the team would need to be bad. Like you'd need to be playing a bad team as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the more modern the sport starts to become, the more modern the culture starts to become, I think we're more likely to see something like this where someone will actually like really push to try and get someone to break the record. Like obviously they'd have to like naturally get a hat trick probably in the 1st. I would agree would be the only way they'd start to consider it. And a goal in the first 10 minutes of the 2nd, like have the whole 2nd half of the game to get 2 goals. I think they would definitely let you push for it.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Do you want to go with the last question or?
Yeah. The last one that I have is how do you feel about resting players for tanking purposes? Like, what do you think? Do you think it's ethical? Do you think it's unethical? Do you think it's fair, unfair? What do you think?
I mean, there's no real way for the league to stop it. Like if you want to be bad, you can be bad. Like the only way that you could really
also like
like they talked about removing the draft. Like they're removing the draft maybe from the NBA now, which I think is ridiculous. First of all, let me say,
No,
I
they're
think the
not
draft is
gonna do
very
that.
important.
They're not
Silver
gonna do
talked about it.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, I don't
but
want to
he
talk about
a
basketball.
lot of things. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
But
want
there
to
was
talk
like
about basketball.
there was like 20 things they listed.
I don't think it'll ever happen in hockey. If it does, it's really stupid. Like we saw what
No, it
happened
won't.
before the draft like was in place, where like you just have like dynasties, like Montreal. That's how the Montreal dynasty in the 70s is a thing. It was because they literally could just recruit people from Quebec, and Quebec hockey players back then it was in the culture. But like, yeah, again, coming back to my original point, there's no way to really avoid it from the league. So you kind of just need to let it go. And I mean, unless you go to like the thing that the PWHL is doing. You know what I'm talking about?
The golden rule, they call it. Yeah, that's, I think, the best solution to tanking, really. I do think that's the best solution. I honestly don't think it's that big of an issue in the NHL, man. Like, look how many bottom teams are winning games right now. Like St. Louis, the Rangers, Nashville, Winnipeg, all those teams are like have a positive winning percentage in their last 10 to 15 games. Like they're all winning more than they're losing.
Anybody on the team that's like over the age of 25, they don't want to lose games. Basically any of them. Prospects, it's like whatever. Okay, we're gonna be good later in my career, but like the older guys, like the vets, none of them want to lose. So
I honestly don't think there's an issue, which is why I'm totally fine with it, because it's not like the NBA, man. The NBA teams will get up 15 and then they'll sit their players so that they still lose the game. And it's like, that's not happening in the NHL. Like they'll just scratch a player for a game or two and then he comes back in, plays like 5, and he'll sit for 1 after that.
And
like,
nobody in the NHL wants to sit. So
yeah, exactly. So it's just, that's why. Yeah, I agree.
But with the thing that's happening in the PWHL, which I think actually could happen in the NHL, I hope it doesn't. Is I think it's stupid because you're saying like all the wins that somebody gets, like once they get like mathematically eliminated, it takes a long time to get mathematically eliminated. But then if you're a bad team, like you're kind of screwed out of getting that first pick.
You play more games being eliminated though. That's the thing. Like if you get eliminated with at 65 games played, right? The team that gets eliminated when there's 75 games played, they have 10 less opportunities to earn points than you do.
Yeah, but what if you're so bad that you literally just can't win games?
You're going to be eliminated really early and you're still going to get points. Like if you're that bad that you get eliminated with like 50 games played, you still have 30 games, man, 32 games to get enough points. And most teams don't start getting eliminated until the game played are in the 70s. So they're playing like single digit amount of games and you're playing 30 or even like 20, bro. Like,
yeah, but so how about somebody that got like eliminated? Like say you had injuries and it's like a good team that got eliminated. I feel like you could do like a Vegas almost where you like intentionally have people hurt. You're like, okay, we're not going to be good this year. So we're going to
still throw a year.
Our stars
throw a year by doing
okay.
that.
Okay. But you get the first overall pick.
And also, again, you still have to sit your players. Look, the Canucks have like 46 points, and they're not even mathematically eliminated yet from the playoffs. Like it doesn't take. It's really hard to get.
That's what
I know, but they're gonna play. They play a lot of games limited. Also, it works with PWHL because there's like 8 teams.
Yeah, but yeah, like the Canucks are they haven't been mathematically eliminated yet. There's a chance that they just like we get to like 15 games left. And then that's asking them to win a certain amount of games out of 15 games. Yeah. And with the way that they're playing, they might win 3.
I get that. But like, I just think there's not that many teams that play that many games actually being mathematically eliminated. And like, if you play over 10, you're going to win you're going to get the most points, I think.
Well, I mean, like if you look at a Canucks where it's like, okay, they get eliminated with like 15 games left, let's say. And then they win like 3 out of those 15 or 4 out of those 15.
No, their percentage is higher than that. Like they'd probably get points. Their point percentage is like 40%. They get a point in 40% of their games. So like you're gonna get like if it's like 30.
We'll say that they win. We'll say that they win 6.
In 15, they win. Yeah, they win 6 and they get probably 2.
Okay, so then how about like a Washington who gets eliminated probably with 10 games left?
They probably win 5, lose 2 in OT. How they do it? So they get 12 points. And say Washington gets eliminated with 75 games played. They have 7 left.
That's bro. 7 points in 15 games is like 500.
No, I know 12. I'm 12. I'm retarded. They had 7 games they get a point in of the 15. 5 of them they win. 2 of them they lose in OT. So they get 12 points. right? In those 15 games
Yeah,
played,
okay.
they get 12 points. Washington gets eliminated with 75 games played. So they have 7 games. That's hard. You win every single one of those games, you get 14. And that's only an 8-game difference.
I would be shocked if Vancouver got 5 wins and 2 OT losses in 15 games. Although I guess
I'm just going off their
trying
point percentage. But I'm also just going, and also true, the organization would play their best possible roster the second they got eliminated.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's an interesting avenue to go down.
I think it would work, man. I really think it would work because I really think like when you look, I'm pulling at Vancouver's point percentage so we can like know for, okay, 359. So that's probably 10 points that they're getting, I would say. Probably 4 regulation wins, 2 OT losses.
Well, the simple way to put it is it's 5 wins or like 4 wins, 2 OT losses.
10 points. Yeah, 10 points.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So they get 10 points. But I'm just saying, like, most teams get eliminated between 70 and 75 games played is where the majority of the teams get eliminated.
Yeah.
Like
but if you're like a 500 team that could just like flip on for like remember when the Blackhawks had that crazy run at the end? Like they'd be nasty.
Well, yeah, but by the crazy run at the end, you wouldn't be mathematically eliminated until later.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I really think it would work, man. And it would be really interesting to see a game between Vancouver and Colorado mean genuinely a ton to both teams.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting.
Like, it creates a lot more intrigue, bro. Like it makes like didn't
the guy make a lot of money?
Bro, man, in Toronto and the Rangers, bro. Toronto and the Rangers would be a massive game.
Yeah.
You know, like it would mean bad teams would play important games all year. Most of the year, they'd like from the like December to February window, they wouldn't.
Yeah, the last window was really competitive hockey.
Yeah,
they'd be playing competitive hockey. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
I like it personally. I think it would work, and I think it just is different. But I don't think the NHL would ever implement it. I'm not gonna lie. We're probably the most traditional league of the Big Four in North America. Like,
getting rid of the tie was a big deal for us, but we did it. Going to 3-man OT was a big deal, but we did it. We could do it.
But those aren't that. But that's like dramatically changing up. That's dramatically changing up, though, how the sport has always been played. Like making that golden rule, like that's very different than anything they've implemented.
It's changing the point system.
Tweaking the rules is different. But I know, but it's like
point system.
No, but it's getting rid of the draft lottery. It's getting rid of all that. Like it changes all that very drastically.
Oh, I forgot it would get rid of the draft lottery. I feel like you would still have the lottery after it. Though.
What's the point of doing that then? That
literally
gets rid of the entire.
You have better odds. You have better odds.
But why not just stay playing really bad and just keep it as is and be like the worst team gets the best odds?
Because
like you're just over if that's not replacing the lottery,
then you're not
it's
playing competitive
overcomplicated and really pointless.
Because then you're not playing.
But they don't care but that's not an issue for the league right now.
Well, if you don't win any of the games at the end of the year, you have worse odds at a first pick. You'd have like the 16th odds.
I get that, but I think that's extraordinarily stupid to base it off of that's your new draft odds. Like at that point, I would just stay with the teams with how it currently is. And if you're like the worst team gets the best odds and all the way up, because there's like, yes, it would create competitive hockey, but the Canucks would be like, bro, we just grinded to make sure we won enough games just to get the 4th overall pick anyway because of the odds. Like, what's the point in trying to win this? Like, that's way.
Well, I mean, you could have the same argument. We tried to we were like shit all year, and we were like playing like
and we were really good at the end of the year, and we guaranteed ourselves the 1st overall pick because we won.
I'm talking about our current scoring. You could still get screwed over. You could drop.
But but at least I get that. But at least you weren't like
how's that any different? It's not different
because you're trying to tell teams to win games. It's going to incentivize you to change your odds. Okay, you're a bad team, but you're gonna win, and by winning, that's gonna like the Canucks. In the situation where it just straight up determines your like where you're picking, the Canucks, there's no situation where the Canucks fall like outside the top 5. Right? And like in your situation, if they don't get enough points, they're now suddenly the 5th best odds and say they drop to 7. Now they're the worst team for the most of the year, but they're now picking 7, which would never, because they fell to 5th and then the odds fucked them even more.
Yeah. I mean, do you know the PWHL also has it goes by a snake draft?
I did not know that.
That's insane to me, bro.
That's never happening in the NHL. I
Yeah,
think
that's never
that's
happening in the
so dumb. If it
That's
happens
actually
in the NHL.
so dumb. Anyway,
I like
yeah,
that they're
we'll see what
trying different
happens.
stuff though, bro. Like the WNBA just is the NBA but women, and
no,
it does not do very
WNHL,
well.
WNHL.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying the WNBA is the NBA but women, and it doesn't do very well. And like at least the PWHL tries different things, and it also, I bet you the NHL's trying this stuff because this is stuff they've talked about. And so they're like,
probably
we'll test
guinea
it out
pigs.
on the women's league and see how it does, see what the like review of it is.
That sounds
And-
so awful. It's like, oh, we're a competitive league
Not
that
really.
matters, so let's try it out on a league that doesn't matter.
Yeah, they do that all the time. In the minors in baseball, they try out all different kinds
Yeah,
of
but
rules
like
to see.
look at the optics of that. It's like, oh, we're comparing.
Look
like,
at the
what
viewership
professional
and the
leagues-
money that it brings in. Like it's
Yeah,
just objectively the number
It's-
two.
it's
I will
true.
die on that hill, man. You can come at me and disagree with my take on this and say that it's not good that the NHL is using it
Buddy's
as
getting
a,
canceled in the Big 2020.
you could no man. It's a very valid argument. I think that the NHL makes more money.
No,
There's
I agree
more
with
eyeballs
you.
on the
I agree with
NHL.
you. I just
And the
agree
NHL
with
also
you, I just wouldn't-
owns the PWHL. Like the NHL owns it. The PWHL is not its own thing. It's the
Yeah, it's
NHL's thing that they own, which is
I mean,
why
same
they're
with the
fully
NBA and
within the right.
WNBA.
Exactly. To try out new rules and see how it works and then apply it to the NHL if they want to.
All right, we're going on tangents upon tangents here. Let's
Yeah, we are.
wrap it up. But we can keep this discussion going. If you guys have any other questions, put it in the comments below on YouTube or send us a DM on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Pucks, and we'll be sure to add it into this section. But for now, that's all from us. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you the next time we drop the puck. Have a good one, everybody.